Does the Rock pull out the golden egg?
Which
I missed the egg.
I
You don't remember the egg?
I don't.
From Survivor Series.
Oh,
You have to.
oh my gosh. You mean the big egg and somebody hatches out of it? No, please don't.
No, the one that Vince had.
Oh, please no. What was the point of that?
Egg.
What was the point of that egg?
That's what I want to find out. I was all in on the egg.
Welcome to the Lariat Lounge, everybody. This is the home of smart takes, hard hits, real talk. I'm your host, Everson Godfrey, co-host Andrew Skeens. Skeener, what do you want to talk about? I don't think there's anything else to talk about but SummerSlam, because SummerSlam is right around the corner. It is the second biggest pay-per-view of the year, PLE of the year, which means this is going to be probably our second biggest episode of the year. When I look at the analytics, WrestleMania 41 pre-show and the reactions were the two biggest episodes that we've had for the year. So if that's any indicator, SummerSlam is going to be hot WrestleMania. How you feeling, brother?
Ready for the biggest party of the summer.
Indeed. I'm looking forward to it too. I was watching WWE Unreal, and by the way, if you guys have not taken the opportunity to check out WWE Unreal on Netflix, let me tell you, that show is great. It is a great show. It made me remember why I love professional wrestling. If you are somebody who listens to this podcast, you enjoy good stories and you enjoy storytelling. You know that characters matter and stories matter. So to see the behind the scenes and what goes into, not like necessarily behind the scenes that like how the show ticks, but what went into the development of some of these stories, what it looked like in the war room where they're coming up with some of these ideas. And it's really good, man. You haven't seen any of it yet, have you?
I've seen clips and some things on social media, but it is on the slate. My wife's working a few days here. Come Monday, she starts a week or so off, so we will be watching it come Monday.
Good.
But yeah, everything I've seen looks awesome. Can't wait to watch it,
dude. The fact that there were people online when WWE Unreal was announced, and so I get it. I get that people were afraid, and some people did not like the idea of WWE peeling back more of the curtain. But dude, it's 2025, and the product is different. But I think that there is a lot of reverence given to the product of the past and respect to what the product is currently within WWE Unreal. I don't think anybody who watches it is going to genuinely be disappointed. I mean, like, I think if you're disappointed after you watch it, I'm questioning a level of sincerity, because it's a really good show. And if it doesn't hit you in the same feel space that you get when you watch a great WWE video package, I'd check your pulse, because, you know, the stuff is great. The show is great. And I look forward to you watching it, Skeens, so we can talk about it together. Maybe we'll do like a bonus episode or something.
Sounds good to me. I think that's a great idea for a bonus episode.
I think so too. And that will be a great place for people to hop on board if you haven't listened to the Lariat Lounge before. Not that this is episodic in a way that requires you to watch last week's episode in order to catch this week's episode. Though sometimes we do have through lines. And, you know, if you want to get all of the Lariat lore, then you're going to need to listen to the Lariat Lounge and catch up. But you can catch up on those bonus episodes as well. This is episode 19, by the way. Skeener, please tell our friends where they can go and tell their friends to catch up on episodes 1 through 18. Listen to this one and something special we got coming up real soon.
Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, wherever else you get your podcasts. We're coming at you at least once a week, every week, breaking down everything, your favorite characters and stories in WWE. We're over on Instagram at the Lariat Lounge Podcast, always throwing up posts, polls, things like that. We love you all getting involved. Also, always feel free to reach out to us at the Lariat Lounge at gmail.com. We love hearing from you all and want to hear from more of you all more often.
Absolutely. So this is episode 19. Episode 20, the big 2-0, will actually be coming to you not next week, but this weekend. This weekend, everyone, be a part of episode 20, which will be the Lariat Lounge live. We will be doing the Lariat Lounge live on YouTube, reacting to and watching WWE SummerSlam nights 1 and 2. If you ever wanted to interact with us, this is probably the best way to do it. I'm pretty sure we're not going to do this for every PLE, though. Never say never. I highly doubt we will, but listen, I won't take it off the board. But this is the second biggest PLE of the year. I had this wonderful idea. I called up my buddy Skeens, and he was reading my mind. And he was thinking about the same thing I was thinking. And so we want to share SummerSlam with you all. So tune in to the Lariat Lounge on YouTube this weekend. We will be live streaming, myself and Skeener, and we'll be watching SummerSlam. I'm working on getting the live chat going. I just got to figure out the logistics to that because I've never done that before, but we're going to get it going. Hopefully.
We're going to call it in the ring, brother.
We're going to call it in the ring, and you all can be a part of it. So as soon as we get this stuff up and running, we're going to try to do like a dry run tomorrow, which will be Friday, just to kind of get the wrinkles ironed out. And as soon as we get all of those things in order, Skeener will throw something up on the socials for you all to know where you can tune in. SummerSlam starts, I think the start time is like 3 p.m. We're not going to be up there that whole time. I'm going to tell you that right now. But I would say that show probably, if I had to guess, that show will probably start like matches. What do you think, Skeen? Like 6?
I think it's supposed to, main card's supposed to start at 7 Eastern each day.
Okay.
So that'll be 6 p.m. for those of us in Central Time like me, but I'm looking at something that says 7 p.m. Eastern.
Okay, 7 p.m. Eastern. Okay, so they must start that pre-show super early.
Yeah, I think they're trying to make it the WrestleMania type deal with the move to 2 nights. So
yeah,
I'll do a big pre-show with it too.
Now that makes sense. So if the main card starts at 7,
well, now I'm seeing 6 Eastern on WWE.com.
Okay. See, that makes more sense, right? Because I don't think that the show is going to run.
The official graphic says 6 p.m. Eastern.
Okay, so we're going with 6 p.m. Eastern then.
Yes.
Okay, so we're going with 6 p.m. Eastern. That makes sense because I don't see that show running past 10. And that would make sense because they're doing 2 nights. So the show starts at 6. I will probably get the live stream going up maybe around like 5:30. So you guys can start filing in if you want, and we'll probably be meandering around and getting things situated and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure I'm going to order a pizza.
That's what I will be doing as well. That's my big. That's always my PLE tradition.
Me too. You know what I was thinking, dude? One day I would like to come to Milwaukee and hang out with you for a PLE.
Absolutely. You are always welcome. Easy to fly into O'Hare and come grab you down at O'Hare in Chicago. About an hour down the interstate from my house. By the time you fly to Milwaukee, you'll always just fly to Chicago and then fly to Milwaukee.
Yeah.
So it's easier to just fly to Chicago and drive the hour.
Yeah. And listen, maybe one PLE, I'll get you down here to Hampton.
There we go.
Get you down here to Hampton, pick you up in Norfolk. That's like, I'm literally like 30 minutes from the airport. It's nothing. But join us. You ain't got to fly in. You ain't got to get tickets. It's free. We paid for everything. Just join us Saturday. Join us Saturday, guys, for the biggest party of the summer. 2 nights of SummerSlam. It's going to be me and Skeener and all the folks in the Lariat Lounge hanging out. So come join us. Details will be up as soon as we're able to get the details to throw them up. Fair? Cool. Anyway, we got a jam-packed episode full of SummerSlam predictions. So enough with the fluff. Let's get to the stuff. Skeener, I'm looking at the match card right now. Surprisingly, I pulled this up on Netflix.
Oh, okay.
On Netflix website, which was it was interesting because when I was looking at it, I was looking it up on the Google search, and then I saw it come up and I looked at Netflix. It still strikes me sometimes that Raw's on Netflix. And so I was like, oh, the whole card is up here. All right, nice.
Yeah, isn't I don't know, because obviously I don't have to deal with it. Isn't a lot of non-US countries the PLEs are on Netflix?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. PLEs are on Netflix and SmackDown as well.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because we talked about SmackDown for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and I've been able to watch.
Are you still watching SmackDown that way?
Yes. Yes, I am. It's been lovely to be able to kind of catch it in its entirety whenever it is that I want. So, that's great. And honestly, I haven't tried watching the PLE on Netflix because I still have my Peacock subscription. But dude, I only have Peacock for WWE, and I'm tempted to see if I can pull it up on Netflix this weekend, while we're streaming, because I'm gonna watch it on Peacock because I just want to make sure I don't have no problems. But I may pull it up on my phone and see if I can, view it while we're watching. Because if I can get it on Netflix, I'm probably just going to cancel my Peacock subscription. Like, there's no point.
All right. So you and or your wife are not Love Island watching, is what I'm hearing. Because I could not get away with canceling Peacock.
Because of Love Island?
Wife needs it for Love Island.
I hear you saying your wife needs it for Love Island, but I have a sneaking suspicion that you need it for Love Island.
It's, I sat and watched a little bit. I don't get too far into it because it's just too crazy. But, it's one of those I'll sit there and watch just because of the entertainment value. It's all good sports entertainment. Yeah,
I guess so. No, I haven't. I don't think I've seen a single episode. I don't think I've seen a single clip of Love Island. Those shows to me are pure entertainment and they're pure fun. And I guess people really enjoy them. Although I heard that the viewers this season kind of got out of control. Am I right? Like they could call in or text in stuff to the contestants.
There's I just remember there was fan voting. I remember my wife being upset that America voted off or didn't vote for the right people towards the end. I just remember there was a big issue, seemingly.
But to each their own. I heard that they had some sort of texting service where they could, text in their commentary about certain things or their suggestions about voting people off or something like that. And it started to get to the point where people were saying things and suggesting things that were just kind of cruel. And
you can't ever let the internet be unfiltered.
No.
It will never turn out well.
And from what I heard, the show had to step in. The show had to step in and kind of tell the fan base, hey, let's be nice, relax, because people were taking it a little overboard. So all that to say, I know nothing of Love Island, and And no, Peacock can absolutely kick the bucket. I don't know anything else I would watch on Peacock besides wrestling. So if I can get it on Netflix and just pay the one subscription instead of two, listen, I will take my money back. But let's take a look at this match card. So scrolling right down the card, Netflix has it listed in, I guess, the order of what they think is the biggest match to the least enthusiastic match, or at least the match they're least enthused about. So I'm just going to roll down this match card and we'll just start from wherever it is that they've got it at the top and we'll go from there. Oh, I lost my place.
Works for me.
Let me scroll here because I lost my place. The phone rotated. Okay, there we go. Okay, so what they've got up here first is what is undoubtedly the main event of night 2. John Cena versus Cody Rhodes in a street fight for the WWE Undisputed Championship. So I'm actually going to toss this to you first. Skeener, this build for Cena versus Cody has been interesting. It's been entertaining, and I'm curious, what do you think the outcome is going to be for this match? And how certain are you that shenanigans, including people whose names rhyme with Dwayne, could be present in this main event?
I will go 100% certain on shenanigans.
Okay.
36.5% sure that we'll have the final boss.
All right.
And about 6% confidence in my prediction. Because as we've talked about, it really hinges on where they want to take the story.
Yeah.
Is the story that, I mean, we've talked about it, fork in the road for sure, with tons of places to go.
Yeah.
Right now, from what we've gotten, and again, about 6% sure of this, I'm going to predict. Oh man, I don't even know. I'm wavering as we speak. I think John Cena retains, and we don't get any Cody Rhodes heel turn.
Okay.
I haven't seen it hinted at enough. Again, this is with that 6% sure caveat. And I'm with you with the build. The build has been interesting. We always get that, and obviously this is recorded before the final SmackDown before SummerSlam. But when you don't have John Cena there every show, it becomes a little different. When he's been there, like the last time was the contract signing, right? That was great. I love that. And presumably he will be there tomorrow. I'm not exactly sure. Don't know if he's advertised or not. I just don't know. I've been hopeful for the final boss for so many times and not gotten it that I'm just going to stop predicting it.
Okay.
And if The Rock isn't there, I don't think Cody will win. I don't think babyface Cody is overcoming heel John Cena here because I don't see where that John Cena character goes if he just loses to someone, quote unquote, better. Now, is there a great story to tell there? Probably. I just don't see it. And again, we're at such a fork in the road. I'm not driving the car. I'm just sitting in the back. I just really am letting someone else take the wheel and seeing where we go with this one. But I'm sure you have better, more developed thoughts than I do. So what do you see happening?
You know what, Skeener? Surprisingly, I don't. This is the match that I have been the most unsure of. I think
it makes me feel a little better.
Yeah, I think when I look at the rest of the card, I think it's a little easier for me to just kind of fall into my bag of how I look at these matches, how I try to anticipate what comes next, right? While also feverishly enjoying being a fan who knows nothing. Cody versus John. Part of me almost feels like this is happening too soon. That's kind of what my feeling it was when how did Cody qualify for this match? How did he get in this match again? He beat Randy.
King of the Ring, yeah.
He beat Randy in King of the Ring. I did not want Cody to win King of the Ring. Now, I don't remember who I picked, but it wasn't Cody. And I guess I just feel like this is happening a little too soon, unless you intend on doing something dramatic. If I have to try to get in my bag a little bit, after watching WWE Unreal and how that war room kicks around ideas, which, by the way, when you watch that show, I found it very interesting how many different off-the-wall ideas actually got thrown around in some of these storylines that they cover before they landed on the one that they did. And to say that they throw everything at the wall and see what sticks, I don't think that's a true statement. But let me tell you something. They definitely grabbed like aspects of a lot of different wild ideas and just throw them together, right? And then they will whittle down into something that they agree on. But with that being said, unless they do something interesting, which they could, I'm thinking that Cody beats Cena. This is a street fight.
Mm-hmm.
And so weapons are going to be legal. They're going to be fighting all over the stadium. I can't see how Cody has every advantage, right, available to him. And somehow he still loses to Cena, particularly because every time he and Cena have come head up for real, Cena has pretty much had his number, except for the contract signing, right? And in the contract signing, Cody got the one up on him. Now, typically, you'd think, okay, well, if Cody got the one up, then that would mean that Cena's going over at SummerSlam. That would be the predictable response. But the predictable response may be the one that they pivot away from. And I don't know. Do I think that we get a Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson interjection into this match? I think there's higher than a 30% chance that we do. Not quite 50%, but maybe like 46. But I think he's going to show up. I don't know how much influence that's going to have on Cody, but I definitely think that Cody is going to unleash a little bit more than a casual street fight beatdown on Cena. I think he's probably going to put the brakes to Cena. I think we're going to start to fuzzy the line a little bit with Cody. Not necessarily make him heel, right? But Cody is definitely taken advantage of some situations sometimes to get a W. And I don't think that this is going to be one where, like he said, he's going to hesitate, because he's hesitated before with Cena and he said he's not going to do it this time. So I don't know. I see Cody winning, because if Cody loses here, I'm not entirely sure what you do with him. I think Cena, you can still spin some things, because we still got to turn Cena back to the light before he goes. And there's a lot of stories you can tell that don't necessarily revolve around that title. But if Cody loses, well, he's not going to be messing with Cena again. We certainly should not do Cody Cena 3. Like, I don't want to see that at the end of Cena's run. So maybe you put the belt on Cody, and maybe you put the belt on Cody and Cena drops the title. I don't know. And then we figure it out from there. I'm kind of at a loss.
Yeah, right. That's where I come from. So in your prediction, Cody wins. Cody's not turning heel, right?
No, I don't think he's turning heel.
So does this start John Cena's turn back in your let's call it your world here, or do we still have to get there somewhere else?
I think this is the turning point, but I don't know if it's the point when he turns back. Does that make sense? Like, this is the point when things start to change course. But the next time we see John, I don't think he's going to be a face. I think he's going to still be heel John, but maybe there is something that is going to come from this match that changes things for John. Because honestly, what I would love to see as John Cena's final match, I would love to see John Cena versus The Rock. Like, I don't think The Rock has too many left that he wants to do. And I don't think he's going to do a Cena retirement tour like Cena did. So maybe you put a situation together where Cody beats The Rock. Cody beats Rock. Jesus. Cody beats Cena. And Cena is still kind of heel Cena. And Cody has done whatever he felt like he needed to do to get that dub, right? And maybe you start having the final boss kind of get in Cody's ear and kind of influence Cody to continue down this path of doing whatever it takes to win, right? And Cody started to blur the lines between not necessarily him being a good guy and a bad guy, but Cody doing the things that a bad guy would do to stay on top, even though he believes he's still the good guy. And then maybe you start to have Cena turn around because he sees what The Rock is doing to Cody and that he's turning Cody, right? Maybe you have some sort of angle there where Cena has always had his better angels and he's trying to then maybe not coax Cody out of it, but maybe he's coming at The Rock, right? In some kind of way. And The Rock, I don't know, tries to put Cena in his place. And Cena's not having that. And so you rehash one of the greatest feuds in WWE history. And you put The Rock versus John Cena in Cena's final match.
I like that. That's a different way to get there than I thought you were going to.
What were you thinking?
Involving Cody. Well, I think the straightest line from your match prediction to Rock and Cena is Rock's just unhappy that, hey, you're my guy. I trusted you, and now you lost the title to this J-Bro that won't give me his soul. So now I'm pissed at you. I'm going to beat you down. I thought that seems like the most direct way to get there. But I like the way you.
I like the way you did it. Actually, I think it's cleaner.
Of course,
I think it's cleaner.
Yeah, I just wonder if that way is too simple, and it's never too simple if it worked. But like for this, is there enough of a moment there? Because it feels like this has at least been building up, and maybe I'm just building it up in my mind to, we had the Cena turns heel, and that's a huge moment with big players involved. We've got to have another moment in this run, right? Before there has to be some other big twist in the road. You would think.
Yeah.
You would think, or at least I would think and do think.
Yeah.
So we'll see. And it doesn't seem like, the dates are ticking down. We're running out of days. If they're serious about those being the days, that we're supposed to take that at face value. We're running out of time. This is probably the biggest stage left at a 2-night event that they're trying to almost bring on par with WrestleMania. I think if there's, a big gun left to shoot, here's where we pull the trigger on it.
Yeah. Well, listen, let's entertain this idea. What if Cody does turn heel? Like we were talking about how, like, let's say Cena drops the title to Cody, right? And I loved your idea. It was much more streamlined. That the final boss comes out. He's pissed at John because John, dropped the title to this J-Brone who wouldn't sell him his soul. And The Rock beats him down, right? What if the idea that you and I talked about many episodes ago actually ends up playing itself out? What if Cena beats Cody, right? What if Cena beats Cody and the final boss comes out, and he's like, finish him off. Like, it's just business between me and you. You're not my guy per se, right? But the whole thing between me and you at Elimination Chamber was orchestrated, and finish him off. He's done. And John, let's say John goes to work on Cody, and then the final boss wants him to take it a step further. And John's like, nah, I'm done. I don't need to do this. I'm done. I beat his ass. You know what I'm saying? I'm done. Mm-hmm. And he goes to walk out of the ring, and Rock does that thing where he doesn't look at him, but he puts his arm in front of him, and he stops him from leaving.
I love that. Before you even said that, that's how I was envisioning that in my head.
Yeah. Yeah. He's going to walk out of the ring. And like how Roman stopped Punk from going into War Games.
Yeah. Yeah.
He just stops him. And he's like, that ain't the deal. Finish it. And then Cena kind of pushes his arm off and it's like, I don't got to listen to you, And then, I don't know, maybe what if the Cody heel turn? What if the Cody heel turn happens? I don't know. Like, it seems like it doesn't happen.
That's where I'm at.
It seems like it doesn't happen if it doesn't happen if Cena wins. Like, if Cena wins, a Cody heel turn doesn't happen. Like, I think if Cena wins, what we were just talking about is a great way to get directly to The Rock and Cena, right? Because that story could play out just like we were just talking. You know what I'm saying? And whether you get a beat down from The Rock right then and there, or you start to get more of The Rock on programming talking about Cena, and then Cena talking about The Rock, and then you get this build up to a face off, right? But you could do a Cody heel turn if Cody wins, right? Like if Cody wins and you follow that same track that we were just talking, right? Where Cody's beating him down and then The Rock comes out and he's like, finish it. And then Cody turns and finishes it. He's not holding back this time, right? And he goes through with it. And then you have, I don't know, you're going to garner sympathy for John, but
yeah, people come back to cheering John Cena more than they already still do at the first opportunity.
But the point is, we don't even need that, because if the point is to get to The Rock and versus Cena, if that's where they're going, right? I think what we said earlier is just a perfect way to get there. You don't even have to have a Cody heel turn. Just have The Rock come out and be like, finish it up. And John's like, nah, I'm done. I beat his ass. I'm good. And Rock's like, no, finish it. And John's like, I don't listen to you. And then they got beef. And the final boss ain't taking that. He ain't taking anybody not doing what he said. And then you start building off of that.
I can see that. So here's my question.
Yeah.
Is everyone that's probably listening to this podcast, maybe not everyone, but we've seen what our friends, the Dirt Sheets, say about, Travis Scott and WWE have had a falling out.
Uh-huh.
Is that true? One.
Okay.
And is he done showing up in this story? Because I don't know. I'll just let you go. What you think?
I hope so. I don't need to see Travis Scott. I don't know. I haven't heard anything about them having a falling out, but I did hear that he's kind of done doing that. Now, whether or not that has anything to do with like a falling out between them, or whether or not, they did what they wanted to do. And, Travis Scott, who is, a multi-platinum recording artist who has a career outside of the time he does with WWE, right? He's got a life and a real job. So they may just be at that point like with Bad Bunny right now. Bad Bunny did his thing. They enjoyed it, right? But he's got other obligations. So whatever the case may be, I don't particularly feel like we need to see Travis Scott. However, what I would like to see is somebody else paired with Cena. I'm not Cena, but paired with The Rock. I don't know who that would be. And I don't particularly think I'd want it to be a celebrity. You know what I mean? Like, if you're going to give somebody that rub, I would really rather you give somebody that rub who's going to be around. And you know who just popped into my head, which is going to sound wild?
Hit me with it.
I don't know why it keeps popping into my head, but Austin Theory.
I love that. I'm a big Theory guy.
Yeah, I don't know why, but like, whether he's nursing a real injury or not, right? We've been hearing a whole lot from Grayson Waller about him dropping
that
Theory.
We have, yes.
You know what I'm saying? And now he's hanging around with the New Day. He just kind of disappeared. So I'm like, I don't have any like big conspiracy theory, no pun intended, about Austin Theory with The Rock. But I'm just thinking about someone who could really benefit from that rub and somebody who's going to be there. You know what I'm saying? And that would just be cool, right? Like if you got the whole thing with like Cena and let's say this thing with Cena and The Rock, right? Where Cena's leaving, Rock's like, finish it. Cena's like, I'm good. And Rock's like, nah, do it. And Cena's like, get out my face. And he walks by, right? Maybe you get Austin Theory run in and whoop John's ass.
So we're running back Cena and Theory from what, 2 or 3 WrestleManias ago?
Oh, dude, that would make it so much better. I didn't even think about that. But yeah, Theory's got an axe to grind. John ran him down. In those promos, right? If we're talking about somebody who's willing to sell their soul to The Rock, that makes perfect sense. And whether you are a fan of Theory like Skeena and I are, or you not, you cannot deny the fact that that dude has got the look and he can go in the ring. He can go.
Does the Rock pull out the golden egg?
What you mean?
I missed the egg. You don't remember the egg?
I don't.
From Survivor Series?
Oh,
you have to.
Oh my gosh. You mean the big egg and somebody hatches out of it? Yeah. No, please don't.
No, the one that Vince had.
Oh, please no. What was the point of that? Egg? What was the point of that egg?
That's why I want to find out.
You know what, man? Vince had some really interesting ideas that genuinely make zero sense. I can't make heads or tails of it.
I was all in on the egg.
So, all right. So as far as winners here, so you're taking.
I'm saying Cena retains.
Okay. Honestly, after talking through this, I think Cena retains too. I think it's a better setup. So the next match we got on our card here is Tiffany Stratton versus Jade Cargill for the WWE Women's Championship. So seeing as how Naomi is already cashed in, I'm going to be honest with you, and we talked about this like a week or so ago. I was afraid of this. I was afraid of what was going to happen when you took Naomi out of this, because I don't think Bianca Belair is cleared for anything. She's not on this card, is she? I don't think she is.
She is not.
Okay.
But you got to think she's getting close, right?
I think she's probably getting close to being back. I just don't think she's getting close to this match. I don't think she's getting anywhere near this match. And there's no reason for her to, right? Like we said before, her and Jade are cool. They have no, qualms with one another. And Tiffany Stratton and Bianca have had zero real interaction. And to be honest, no disrespect to Miss Stratton and what she's able to do in the ring, but she has not had a whole lot of juice behind her either. And
yeah, I'm with you there.
You know what I mean? She has not really had a lot of juice behind her. And like we said the other week, Jade has been the third wheel in this equation between Naomi and Bianca when it comes to what they brought to the story, right? And I think that Jade's biggest inflection points always came at the hands of Naomi, right? Getting back at Naomi for what she did storyline-wise to her that put her on the shelf. And I thought, like we said the other week, that when you pluck Naomi out of that picture and you interjected her into another scene, you took all the real energy away from Jade and Bianca. And it doesn't even seem like Bianca and Jade are really interacting with each other right now. And so for me,
well, hard too when Bianca's not on the show.
Fair.
Or did you mean to say Tiffany?
Well, no, I meant Bianca because
yeah.
Bianca's not wrestling, but she could do something, but she's doing nothing.
Yeah, it's kind of odd that they brought her back just to get the hometown pop in Knoxville, and then she just disappeared again. I thought that was strange.
Yes, she did.
I thought
she was guest referee.
She would at least be around. Yeah, that she would just kind of be around, even if she couldn't wrestle yet. She could at least, make appearances and whatnot.
Yeah, but we didn't get any of that really. And I know she was on Chris Van Vliet's show.
Yes, I saw it
recently.
I saw a clip. Have not listened to it.
Yeah, I haven't listened to it yet either.
Will be great.
But I don't know. I think she's probably close to being back. I know that finger injury, based on what I saw on WWE Unreal, which, by the way, you all need to watch, she picked up that injury at Mania. And so, I think she's probably close to being back. But she's got nothing to do with this match with Jade and Tiff. And because of this, I genuinely think that I am making my pick right now and that they're going to put that, Women's World Championship? Yes.
This is the WWE.
The WWE Women's Championship. I think they're putting it on Jade. I don't see them keeping it on Tiffany. I think that Tiffany is great, but I think she's probably had a relatively lackluster run, and she can use what some of these other superstars have needed for a while, which is spend some time wrestling some other people in some other situations where your story does not have to revolve around the title. Ironically, she became a baby Charlotte in a way. Like, Charlotte Flair is benefiting so much from not orbiting the title. You know what I mean? And I think Tiffany could benefit from not being in that title picture right now. And if I'm being honest, I don't think this title run, well, I can't say that because it hasn't even happened. But I don't know if I'm as confident as some people may be with Jade Cargill's star power right now. I don't know if she has it. And I know that's a bold statement to make, some people may think, but I don't know if she has it. When I listen to her deliver her promos, I'm not as engaged as I would want to be. And I genuinely feel like there are some people out there who just have it and you can't teach it. But if you could teach it, it's taught by years and years and years of working in the industry, of being a fan of this business. And I feel like Jade Cargill is someone who is built for this business, but she's not of this business. And, that's not to say a whole lot because Logan Paul is not of the business, but that dude has got it. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's got it, whether you like it or not, he's got it. I just don't know if Jade has it. And so I think because I don't know if Jade has it, but Jade has got the look and she's got some popularity, and if she doesn't have super duper whooper star popularity, it's on the same level right now as Tiffany Stratton, so you can't really lose anything. And we could use some fresh matchups. So I think Tiffany Stratton drops the WWE Women's Championship to Jade Cargill.
I'm with you there for kind of the same reasons. mostly same reasons, a little different. I mean,
Yeah.
let's just call it how it is. No disrespect to her. Sometimes timing and runs aren't right, but the title run's kind of been a little flat.
Yeah.
Since, she beat Charlotte, great match there, finished up the business with Nia. Obviously, the match with Trish was great, but they're just, like you said, not a lot of juice.
Yeah.
Not a lot of juice there. I don't think Tiffany, she just hasn't found the groove of where the Tiffany Stratton character works as the good girl.
Yeah.
Good guy, whatever we want to call it, as the hero.
Right.
And it's tough to weave that character into that. Good thing is, she has much more of her career ahead of her than behind her.
Sure.
So I think she'll figure that out. But yeah, I think it's time to freshen it up. And look, it's been what? We've had Jade's been here a good bit now. Not a ton, and she's still young in the business, but let's go ahead. Let's give it a shot. Give her that crowning moment. See if it clicks. See if she can carry it the way we need to. And we're in such a good spot right now that, I mean, I don't mean to say this in a bad way, but like, put it on Jade. If it doesn't work, you can always take it off her.
Yeah.
And we can circle back to it later if she's not ready. But we need some sort of juice here. And like you said, taking Naomi out of this, not having Bianca, that takes, and then, probably your bigger stars than these two on SmackDown and Alexa Bliss and Charlotte, they're not around this title. So this just doesn't have the juice, but let's see what they can put together match-wise and see where they go. But I'm with you. I think Jade wins it just because of how stale everything kind of feels right now, and I think they'll freshen it up.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I think you have a better match with Bianca versus Jade coming out of SummerSlam than you do Bianca versus Tiffany.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So, and listen, that has much more background there to try and build something different out of it, right? I could definitely see them going the tried and true route of friendly competition between, two dominant females who were tag teams becoming like a bitter rivalry. You could really go that route and tell some decent stories out of that. Because that's one thing that Jade can do really well is she can be very convincing when it comes to being pissed off and angry, and lean into that and maybe allow for Bianca to carry a bit more of the load of that. And then listen, Bianca could probably bring something out of Jade that we haven't gotten. Like you said, Jade's got a lot of career in front of her. So does Tiffany. And it just maybe requires the right dance partners. I think that that's probably one of Tiffany's issues, is that dance partner wise, it's not that she hasn't had good competitors, but she hasn't had someone to really bring the best out of her the way Becky did for Lyra. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
And so, Tiffany just needs the right dance partner, and Jade had two great dance partners to help bring good things out of her, but more so at the time to cover up for the things she was lacking. And now
I think what has happened here, and maybe I'm wrong, but it seems like, and we were talking about it, and it's maybe why we got kind of fooled in what was going to happen, because it seemed like they were building, and I think they probably were building toward Naomi's involvement in this.
Yeah.
And someone had a great idea. I'm not saying don't do it too. What if we move Naomi over here, give her this cash in this moment? And then, you do that, but now you're like, oh shit, we still got this over here on SmackDown. What are we going to do?
Yeah.
And maybe this is kind of the victim of that great moment you create with Naomi.
Maybe you had a pivot. Maybe you had a pivot because Bianca wasn't ready.
That too. I mean, regardless, there just hadn't been the juice you would like behind this. But sometimes that happens.
Yeah. So I think we're both on the same page here with Jade.
Yeah, Jade's gonna. Yep, absolutely.
And then listen, that could, like we said, that could have been a pivot. It could have been a pivot because Bianca wasn't ready, because we talked about the match at SummerSlam being Jade winning at Queen of the Ring, right? And challenging Tiffany Stratton for that title, and then having Naomi cash in. But maybe they made a pivot because they checked with Bianca. Bianca wasn't ready. And so, okay, because Bianca's not ready, we need to do something to, with Naomi to keep this spicy. And, you know what I'm saying? And not pivot into another Naomi Jade interaction that Bianca may or may not be able to be a part of, right? Which takes us right into Naomi versus Rhea versus Io for the women's world championship. Skeener, I think this match could literally steal the show from whatever night it's on. I don't know if it's night 1 or night 2, but
believe it's night.
Dude, after Io versus Rhea at Evolution, I have such high praise for those two in a match, and Naomi has just been spectacular. Just her work on the mic, in the ring, it's been great. It's that promo that she did. Who was she talking to? Jackie Redmond in the back
this past week.
Yes,
I think so. Yeah.
Or is it Kathy who does the backstage interviews?
Well, they go back.
They go back and forth.
And honestly, I don't remember exactly who it was.
Dude, that promo was so good. Like, we've said this before time and time again, but you can tell when someone is in their bag. You can tell when they know their character and they know it well. And it just rolls off of them like beads of water on glass. And Naomi is just in that zone right now where she just knows her character. She knows herself, and everything that she does just translates well. And where I think you had such a great match between Io and Rhea, I think Naomi outshines them when it comes to her character work. And for that reason, and because she just won it, I do not think you put that title on Rhea right now. I think that Naomi retains, and maybe, I don't know where you spin off from this afterwards, but I definitely think that Naomi comes out of that triple threat as the victor.
Yeah, I don't think Naomi got that big moment just to lose it now. I think the match is going to be great, but as a storytelling and character device, I don't think we get a ton from this. I think this is more the tie up the loose ends of Naomi came in and stole the title from these two, and now she's going to find a way to weasel out a win here, and then we're going to go in different directions with all three of these parties, I think. But I think bell to bell, it is going to.
Absolutely. So I think this one right here is, I will say this, and I think this is why this segment, this portion of our predictions is probably the shortest, because I think that there isn't, if I'm looking on this match card, which I'm kind of poking down, aside from Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul versus Randy and Jelly Roll, there isn't another match I think is more of a surefire win here than Naomi winning this triple threat. And that's not taking anything away, like you said, from how amazing this match is going to be. But I think this is definitely, like you said, this is tying up loose ends, and this is just giving the fans what they want. You know what I mean? Like, you ain't got to have a lot of story here. This is just follow up from the amazing match at Evolution, the amazing event that happened at Evolution with Naomi's cash in, and just tying all of these things together in a neat bow so that all of these women can go their separate ways on the second biggest stage of the year. So, yeah, I think this is a surefire thing.
Yeah, I'm right with you there. Yep, that's what I would say.
So next up on this card, we have... Let's see. CM Punk versus Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship. Skeener, I'm going to toss to you.
Night one main event, I believe, right?
You think so?
Yeah, I think it's on night one, so I can't imagine it doesn't main event.
True. This is true. Yeah. I don't. There's no way that this is being on either card that this is not main event that night. Well, wait a minute. What do you think? Obviously Cena and Cody's going to main event night 2. Yes. Agreed.
Right.
Agreed. All right, so I'm going to toss to you first. Who do you think comes out as the victor here?
This one, I think this one's kind of tricky.
Okay.
I don't think there is a winner. I don't think I can be dissatisfied either way. I'll lead with that.
Okay.
I lean slightly toward thinking this one again hinges on what the plan is and like we talked before, this hinges on whether or not that Seth Rollins injury is serious and he's back. So I'm going to go with the idea that Seth Rollins will not be showing up and that he is hurt for some amount of time. That he's not going to be there on Saturday. I'm going to say CM Punk walks out with the title. I think we've not that what CM Punk has been doing hasn't been good, but it feels like the moment for him to win win a world title back in WWE has been put off long enough. I think it's a surefire, great reaction and needs to happen. Wasn't going to happen with Cena, obviously, but I think we go ahead and strike while the iron's still hot. And because, call it how it is, Punk isn't getting younger.
No.
So when we're going to put it on him, let's put it on him now. My hesitation is, man, did we just build Gunther back up to take it off him again? But I don't think he loses a ton from losing to CM Punk. He's still, I think Gunther at this point is pretty much a made man. He's not in the stratosphere of you couldn't do anything to screw him up, but his presence and his character work, especially how he can talk as a heel and kind of talk his way out of a loss, essentially, or talk his way into minimizing any loss he may have. I think he could lose this, and I'm not as worried as maybe I would have been a few months ago.
Yeah.
That he can still maintain the level of seriousness that character needs and credibility that character needs while losing, especially to someone like CM Punk. I think we could figure it out with Gunther, but let's go ahead and put it on CM Punk. One of my hesitations, and this is a completely external factor that you wouldn't even be privy, is Raw is coming to Milwaukee in early September. On the advertisements and like the graphics. So I was in the Fiserv forum where Raw is going to be the other night for a concert, and the advertisement that kept popping up on the screens, CM Punk is not there, but Gunther's there front and center. I know, card subject to change and all that, but it feels weird that CM Punk is on Raw pretty much every week, a big part of Raw, and he's not on this advertisement for this show here in about a month. That's kind of weird to me, but I'm still going to go with CM Punk. I just found it odd that Gunther's front and center in that ad, and no CM Punk.
Okay. So, first of all, let me say that I am in agreement with you that I think Punk wins this match. To speak to the fact that you were at a concert the other day, what did you go to see? Who'd you go see?
So, my wife and I went to see the band Ghost.
Okay. Never heard of them, but sounds cool. So the other thing that you saw as far as the advert that was there and Gunther being front and center and Punk not being there and that kind of being weird. I think it just, in my opinion, that lends more credibility to the idea that Punk could win for two reasons. One, because when you watch WWE Unreal, there is a philosophy that was spoken about by Michael Hayes about how they expose champions and what they want to do with a champion as far as like their exposure to the public and how you keep public interest around a champion. So if that is any consolation, I think that if Punk is not on the advert and Gunther is, I think that's more likely an idea that Gunther does not have the championship, that Gunther may be wrestling new people. I think that would be a great thing for Gunther to start wrestling more people, get into some new story arcs. So I don't think that's a bad thing for him, right? I definitely think Punk wins at SummerSlam. But if you notice, I did not use the same verbiage that you did. I didn't say that I thought Punk walked out of there champion.
Here we go.
I think he wins. And then I think Seth Rollins cashes in on CM Punk. If you want moments for SummerSlam, the first two-night SummerSlam, the first SummerSlam that will be broadcast worldwide simultaneously through Netflix, you want something big, right? If you don't deliver that with Cena and Cody, right, you deliver somewhere else. Certain things about Rollins' injury we have spoke about over and over again, and we talked about it last week, and it seemed like we were kind of on the same page that some of this seems so fishy that it's hard to not look at this and think he can't be actually hurt. How many weeks has it been since this man hurt his knee? And we have not heard any update from his visit to the Alabama doctor. We haven't heard any time frame about how long he's out, what kind of injury he's had. And at this point in the game, bro, the dirt sheets be all over that. We would have known last week. We would have known last week what his injury is and what that time frame is. And we can talk about this a little bit after we finish this little segment, because I found it really interesting. Braun Breaker's position on Raw last week, or this past Monday. But I'm having a hard time really buying into this idea that Braun Breaker is now taking over in a leadership role in this group. I think that this is a play towards future storytelling for Seth Rollins' faction, which still do not have a name. Skeener, we are going into SummerSlam, and we have a faction that has been loosely together since the Raw after Mania.
Well, I wouldn't call it loosely.
I mean, when did Braun Breaker came out? He came out right the Raw after Mania, right?
Yeah, I think Bronson Reed was a little later.
Yeah, he was a little later. But, you know, we got that threesome, that trio, the Raw after Mania. And we have no name for them. I think it's just a missed opportunity. It seems wild to me that they haven't taken up on that marketing opportunity for this. But
I do find it strange. It doesn't necessarily bother me, but you're right in terms of like a marketing opportunity and merchandise and all that they haven't figured something out.
Yeah. I mean, it just seems strange, right? And I can't think of another faction that has been officially a faction the way this one is and does not have a name. It's just weird, but I ain't gonna get hung up on it.
At least an informal name or something.
Yeah, something, right? It's just weird. I don't get the logic behind it. But I think that Seth Rollins comes back at the end of this match. Punk wins the championship at SummerSlam and then gets it immediately stolen from him by Rollins. And I think that Punk's main event at night one of WrestleMania 41 is not his last main event at WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. I think he's going to main event one of the nights of WrestleMania 42 against Seth Rollins with Heyman in Rollins' corner. And he's going to beat Rollins, overcome the betrayal of Paul Heyman at WrestleMania 41, and win the World Heavyweight Championship on the grandest stage. That's what I'm thinking.
I can see. I can see it. I'm still buying. I don't think we get Seth. Now, you're right. That's a heck of a moment, and I definitely see that possibility for sure. I would say that's the second. I would put that happening above Gunther. So I'll say there. That's my second choice is your scenario.
Yeah.
But I think this has been good. It's been, I don't want to say lackluster, but the build has just been solid. Mm-hmm. It feels different to have a CM Punk feud, I guess now that's not infused with all that fourth wall breaking stuff. That it's just a good old fashioned pro wrestling feud. And I've kind of enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Because, if we get back to Punk and Seth Rollins, then all that's going to go out the window pretty quick, I'd say.
Well, and honestly, I think that we need to get back to Punk and Seth Rollins. And if I'm being honest, I think your assessment of Gunther earlier was spot on. It's exactly what I think about the man. I think Gunther is one of those superstars to where he's a made man right now. Like, he does not have to have the title to be a top guy. Him losing at SummerSlam is not going to make him any less credible in anyone's eyes. So him dropping the title to Punk at SummerSlam, in my mind, is not a disservice to him at all. And I don't think that, my personal opinion, aside from yours, I don't think we ever had to rebuild Gunther. I don't think Gunther was ever down to be built back up. I think that the man is still bulletproof, and he was bulletproof after he lost to Jay. I think there are some people who, when they lose a title, they need to be built back up. I think Jay, for instance, if he's going to be back in the title picture, which I'm not sure, he would need to be built back up. They need to reheat Jay. I don't think Gunther needed to be reheated You know what I mean? To get back to the point where he challenged Jay and beat him. Well, no, I'm sorry. He didn't beat, who did Jay drop the title to? Was it Gunther?
Was it not Gunther?
Maybe it was. I don't remember.
You now have me questioning this.
I guess I just don't remember. But are you looking it up?
I mean, Gunther definitely beat Jay on Raw. He choked him out. I remember.
Okay.
He kind of like got his choking out lick back.
Okay. So he got the,
so he got his right before, that was like the week before Goldberg showed up.
Okay. Yeah. So he got the title back. So yeah, I don't think he needed to be reheated to beat Jay. And I think that's just Gunther. He's just got that presence about him. And there's a credibility to his style, right? That is just going to make him a world-class star no matter where he's at on the card and no matter what his title status is. So I don't think he loses much of anything from losing to Seth, particularly if, not Seth, but to Punk. Particularly if that loss is also then in service to a Seth cash-in. I think you can do a clean break from Punk and Gunther, because Gunther, like, he's not going to be able to attempt to get a rematch from Seth if Seth catches in, because he didn't lose to Seth. Unless Seth comes out and makes it a triple threat, which I hope he does not do. I hope he does not do what he did the first time with Roman and Brock. And I hope he does not follow behind what Naomi did, making that match a triple threat. I don't think he needs to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't think that's how it would happen, because I think the point would be to inflict as much emotional damage to CM Punk as possible. So let him have his moment and then take the moment from him.
Yes. And so I think Gunther is going to beat the brakes off of Punk. It's going to be one of Punk's harder matches to fight. He's going to be beat up like he was beat up when he fought McIntyre in the steel cage. Yeah. And, you know, he's going to be wore out. Gunther's going to make him red all over. And then when he wins, Rollins comes out, cashes in, and takes it from him. And it just feeds this whole narrative of how, as long as he is in the company, as long as Seth Rollins has breath in his lungs, CM Punk will never be champion here. And I think that's just a great way to do it. Yeah, you were champion for 2 seconds. Enjoy it. And yeah, and Gunther can branch off to something else. And you can make it even better if you really wanted to draw more sympathy for Punk. When Seth comes out, he comes out with Bronson Reed and he comes out with Braun Breaker, and have them work Punk over, and then have Seth stomp him and turn that briefcase over, and then get a freaking almost a Hogan laydown pin. Right. Obviously, he's not going to lay down for him, but like, he's going to turn the briefcase over. The bell's going to ring, and like, Punk's not even standing. You know what I mean? And he just get in the ring, climb over him, 1, 2, 3, and he's got the title. But that's my pick. So I think you're going with Punk winning and no cash in.
I'm going with Punk winning, and he's leaving with that title.
Okay, I got Punk winning, and he ain't leaving with that title.
Okay.
And the Rollins cash in.
So our first divergence.
Yes, first divergence. Real winner, the same. Outcome different.
Yep.
Now let me ask you this: what are your thoughts on Braun Breaker breaking rank on Monday Night Raw and appearing to look like he is assuming some sort of leadership role?
I think this is exactly what I was talking about when I said there's a silver lining to the Seth injury. And we talked about it because whenever Seth comes back, this is going to be a point of, I think at least they'll play this as a point of contention, or at least this will feed into occurrences later where Braun steps up and thinks he's should be somewhere in the hierarchy that maybe Seth doesn't think he is, and that just feeds that eventual clash.
Okay.
The eventual Batista Triple H story that we've done before. I still think we're telling it again. That's all I think this is.
So you think,
and I think it's showing us the timeline for that maybe sooner than I thought it was. At least that's how I take it.
So you think Braun Breaker is going to step into this role, and then when Seth comes back, he's going to step back down, and then at some point he's going to not be content with his position?
Yes, essentially.
Okay.
He's going to be told to step back down, and he's not going to like it. I think he's just this development and how the crowd has just completely latched on to Braun Breaker now. I think it's so apparent now, and just the leaps and bounds every week by which he seems to be finding his groove, Braun that is, and just get more and more comfortable in rounding out his game, sanding off those rough edges. I think it becomes harder and harder to push it off. You know what I mean? Like,
sure.
It's starting to bubble. Like, that water's starting to boil. Eventually, we got to run with it.
I don't disagree. Now, I'm going to tell you what I think here. When I saw that on Monday, what I thought was, this is a situation where Braun Breaker has been doing what Braun Breaker has been doing, right? Which is getting in front of himself, right? And buying into his own hype. You've pointed out on a number of occasions that Braun Breaker has stepped up and like done things. And in the background, you see Paul and Seth like, what is he doing? Right? And kind of having to hold him back from stepping up and doing something, right? When Roman came back and he was undressing Paul, right? There were a number of situations where before Rollins got injured that he was holding Braun back, right? Telling him to fall back. And then at one point, he just stepped up and started talking trash to Roman.
Mm-hmm.
After he'd been told to fall back a bunch of times, right? I've mentioned in the past that there seems to be these instances, right, where Braun Breaker seems to be the only person who doesn't know the plan, right? To me, all these things lead up to Monday where Seth's not there, which, mind you, this is not the first Monday that Seth has not been there, right? But Seth's not there. Braun Breaker steps in out of nowhere and starts telling Bronson Reed, this is, go out there, do this, do that, right? It's almost like he's pretending to be Seth, right? And then he's like, I got a plan. And if you look at Paul seems like, okay, all right, let's see what you're cooking, but not like, yeah, you tell him, boss. I'm not saying that I think Paul is not approving of Braun, doing this, but Paul seems like he knows something that Breaker doesn't. That all of this is by design. All of this is Seth's design. Seth's not actually hurt. He's letting his team do the dirty work. And then at the end of this match, Seth's going to cash in on CM Punk. Braun's not going to be any more the wiser to what's going on. Seth's going to come back and he's going to insert himself back where he was at the top of his faction, right? And now he's going to be the world heavyweight champion. And then I think what you were saying before, which I agree with, begins to play out, right? Which is Breaker is in this position and you see more instances where he starts to assert himself and Seth becomes more and more stern, right? In his rebuking of Braun's assertion of dominance. And then you eventually have a falling out between the two of them where you've just got two egos that are too large to be contained, you know what I mean, within a faction. And then you have this falling out. And then I think you have Seth putting Braun over as like the next big thing.
So in your view, Paul knows that, or in your scenario here,
yeah,
Paul knows that Seth is whatever, that this injury isn't quote unquote real, and that Seth is doing this as a ruse, but Braun is in the dark about it, and that when it comes back and that's revealed, Braun will be upset that he was kept out of the loop.
Yes.
Is that what I'm getting here? Okay.
Yes. I
like that. That makes sense.
I think Paul absolutely knows what's going on, and he knows the plan, and Seth knows the plan. I would even go so far as to say like Bronson doesn't know. You know what I mean? I think it's like it's a need to know thing, and it's like we're a faction, but let's be clear who the leaders are here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's not even a thing where it's like, all right, little guys, sit down. We're the leaders. But like, no, Seth's the leader. And, Seth's the leader and Paul is his guy, right? And this is our faction. We didn't tell you this because we never thought to tell you this. You know what I mean? Like, that's not your role. And, Braun don't like that. He doesn't like not being in the loop. And he feels like we're supposed to be a team of co-equals. And Seth's like, this was never a team of co-equals, bro. This is never a team of co-equals.
I like that. I think that's a distinct possibility. That would be some really good storytelling.
I think I like the idea of just, and they've been laying these seeds every so often. And maybe it's me reading into it, but I felt like I've just seen it, these instances where Braun looks like he's out of the loop. It seemed like he was out of the loop when Bronson came in, right? It seemed like there have been instances backstage where Seth has a plan that Braun doesn't seem to know about, and he goes along with it because he's part of the team. And I don't think he's questioning it a whole lot, but I think you're going to get these accumulations of these things. And I think this is going to be a big one. You know what I mean? I think this is going to be a huge one where he comes back and Breaker's none the wiser of the fact that he comes back. And I think because you have Roman and Jay on the card, which I believe I would think they'd be night 2, right? Roman and Jay versus Breaker and Bronson.
I can look that up. I am not sure.
Actually, that would make more sense on night 1.
I think it is night.
That would make more sense being night 1. I'm
almost certain it's night 1.
Because honestly, we can jump to that because I think that's a good segue in, right? I think you have Braun and Bronson versus Roman and Jay on night 1. And I don't see a world where Roman and Jay lose to Braun and Bronson.
Nah, no chance.
No chance.
OTC.
No
chance. Coming back to take a loss right now.
No, absolutely not. Right. And it's not the gloss over his match.
I mean, Braun and Bronson, they got such a gigantic moment on Monday, at least I thought.
Oh, for sure.
The way Raw ended, like, just moment after moment. I mean, the double spear through the barricade, and Bronson takes his shoes, takes his J's. That was incredible.
Oh, yeah. Awesome. Absolutely. Just some street justice right there. Like, I'm going to take your shoes. Like, I saw that and I was like, wow, Bronson. Like, I know you're going to give him backstage because that's not happening. But it was such a thug move. Like, you just took his J's. But yeah, so dude, and honestly, like I said, not to gloss over that match, but I think it leads perfectly into this idea, right? Braun and Bronson go out here and they put a shellacking on Roman and Jay, on the last week's Raw, right? Oh, the Raw before SummerSlam. So Roman and Jay are going to come out here. They're going to have a hell of a match between Braun and Bronson. I think that Roman and Jay are going to get beat up real good, right? But they're going to win. They're going to win. And maybe there's going to be some tsunamis that go around for everybody. People are going to get speared real hard on both sides, right? And you systematically take out all of Seth's competition. Jay, who was the world champ, Roman, who's absolutely tied to this 3-way dance between Seth and Punk and Roman. You take them out via your 2 boys, right? Bronson and Braun, and then that leaves the field wide open for later on the same night. You have Punk versus Gunther, main event of night 1. Punk gets his ass handed to him by Gunther, but pulls out the victory, right? Gunther is defeated. Punk is beat up and champion. Seth's music hits. Seth cashes in. He's world champ, and every single person who was a threat to him, Gunther, Punk, Roman, Jay, all eliminated the same night. And he's standing atop the hill, having made everyone a fool thinking he was injured. He's the genius. You know what I'm saying? He's the genius. And only him and Paul knew, and not even his own teammates knew what he was doing. He's a step ahead.
You're talking me into it. It works really well. You can do it that way. I mean, it worked. If Seth isn't hurt, then that's the way to go.
Yeah, I just think there's too many things there that just point to Seth not actually being hurt. It just we see too many injuries that are legitimate that we've heard about. We know what the injury is, and we have a relative time frame, right? Not that we have anything ironed out in stone for Liv.
Yeah, I will say it is strange that we've had no update.
None. No update. Like even with Liv Morgan, she's been the most recent injury before Seth's, right? We know what her injury was, and we had a relative time frame. It's going to be a few months before she comes back.
Well, yeah, Finn Balor told us it's a long time.
Yeah.
Because he's hurt his shoulder before. So
yeah.
I trusted Finn on that one.
Yeah, and listen, Finn said that it was going to be a long time, right? But before Finn said that, we had a relative time frame of a couple months. That was a couple months read after we found out that she had separated her shoulder, right? And then Finn gave the end story timeline of a long time that goes to service, you know what I'm saying? The idea that get over Liv. We're moving on without her, right? But with Seth, we got nothing. Not even a diagnosis of what his injury is. That's the crazy part. Even if we didn't get a timeline, right?
Yeah, I definitely think even if it is legitimate, it's still they're playing it up and purposely keeping it as hush-hush as possible. I can go either way, and maybe I'm talking myself into thinking he's hurt, so I'm more surprised if and when he shows up. But I got to stay with my prediction. No Seth.
Okay.
But if he shows up, it works out perfectly because it can be laid out exactly like you just did for us.
I hear you. So with Roman and Jay versus Braun and Bronson, I think we're both going Roman and Jay here.
Yeah, I don't see there's a world where they don't get that win.
I agree. Dude, I think we've been in sync this whole time except for what happens after the Punk Gunther match.
Correct. At least so far.
We'll
see when we get further down on the card.
So the next match on the card, for instance, Randy Orton and Jelly Roll versus Drew and Logan. I think we're on board with this one too. This is the celebrity match.
And I cannot wait because on Friday, Jelly Roll cutting that good babyface promo.
Yeah.
And he can kind of work a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's going to be good. I think he's going to be really good. He's taking it seriously. He seems to really be a fan. I think it's going to be awesome. And look, I don't think Randy Orton at this point in his career would be involved with it if it wasn't going to be something that was good and entertaining. So
Agreed.
I'll say that. But I think this is going to be awesome.
I think so too. I think Jelly Roll has proven, at least to this point, that he can deliver what he needs to deliver on the microphone in a way that fits within the world of WWE programming. And, the more he does this, the better he will get. Do I know or think that this guy is going to put a hold on his country music touring to do WWE, at any, prolonged duration? I don't think so, but he's also been spending a lot of time at the Performance Center. You know what I mean? Getting prepared for not just this, but just a better life overall with his health, with his weight. And he really loves pro wrestling. So is there a world where I could see someone like Jelly Roll doing this outside of his music career? I don't think so, but I think he's someone who you could see returning to WWE more often than, say, a Bad Bunny.
Well, this is his first match, but he did something a couple years ago, right? This isn't our first Jelly Roll.
No, we've seen Jelly Roll a few different times.
He was here doing something.
Yeah, we've seen Jelly Roll here a few different times, but we saw Bad Bunny here a few different times before he got in the ring, and so, this definitely rings true of what it looks like nowadays when celebrities who are really interested in pro wrestling show up and do things, right? Though we haven't had Travis Scott in a match, and I don't need to see that, but Travis Scott has been around the industry a few different times before his involvement with Roman. I mean, not with Roman, but with The Rock. So, this seems to kind of fall in line with what we're seeing. But no, I think this is going to be a great match too. I think Drew McIntyre and Logan are going to hold up their end of the bargain because Drew McIntyre is freaking Drew McIntyre. And
just consummate, just awesome. Used the word a lot. Total pro. Just
Yeah.
great at everything he does. Selling it. Has found just that perfect spot as a heel, and he's so entertaining. Just
Did you see him on? Did you see him on Impulsive?
Yes, and that's where I was going to go. And now being paired with Logan, who also can kind of get in that same heel lane, just them playing off each other in those characters and personas was just so fun to watch.
I didn't see it.
Oh, you got.
I think I will. I think I'll check that out. I hadn't watched it just because I was at the time when I saw it pop up. There were so many other things I was doing at the time that I just didn't get around to looking at it. But I've watched Impulsive before, and particularly when he has, other WWE superstars on. So yeah, I'll have to check that out. But yeah, the two of them together, they've been magic on screen. And honestly, if there's been one impromptu pairing that I feel like fits their characters that they play on screen, it's Drew and Logan. I don't know why, but they just fit. And
right, it's one of those that like you wouldn't have thought before it happened, but now that it's happened, I'm like, well, of course this works.
Yes, this makes sense.
Like, and just still the angle of like Logan Paul protecting the business from an outsider just hits so well because
it's the heelish
it just
thing.
Plays on that segment of fans that like still aren't gonna accept Logan Paul as a pro wrestler.
Yeah.
And I kind of selfishly and sadistically always love sticking it to that section of complainers.
Do you know what it is? Do you remember that Ben Stiller movie, Tropic Thunder?
Yeah.
Okay. You remember Robert Downey Jr.'s character?
Yes, of course.
Okay. So he played a black dude in Tropic Thunder.
Yeah.
Right? Robert Downey Jr. is playing an actor who was playing as a black dude in the movie Tropic Thunder in the movie. And that one scene where they are trying to follow the map and they get lost, and he's like, we're lost, man. We're freaking lost. And and he was like, let me see the map. And he's like, why does everybody want to see the map? And then he was like, what is wrong with you people? Right. And then Robert Downey Jr.'s character is like, what do you mean, you people? Right. And then the real black dude is like, yeah, what do you mean, you people? Talking to Robert Downey Jr.'s character, right? Yeah. And then he's still looking at Ben Stiller's character like, It's that with Logan, right? When Logan's like, you're not a real wrestler. And everybody else is like, yeah, you're not. You're not a real wrestler. And it's that angle that's always going to work. The person who is oblivious to the story that everyone else is attuned to. Like, it always works. And it's a little different, obviously, than the Tropic Thunder thing. Because despite how people may feel about Logan, Logan's a wrestler. The dude can go. And he's shown that he's not going to be someone who just shows up every so often, right? Is he on every week of programming? No. But no wrestler really is on every week of programming, right? He may not be up there as much as some people, but look, he's up there enough to say that, yeah, he does this, guys. And I think if you're someone who does not like Logan Paul, fair. You don't have to like him. You ain't got to like anybody on a roster. But honestly, to say that the man is not a professional wrestler, I think that is just a disingenuous state, if we're being real here.
Oh, for sure. And I'm gonna, this is live, this is off the cuff, this is calling it in the ring.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you, I am on, I pulled up CBS Sports to pull up the match card here. And along with the match card, they've got a little editorializing and predictions from here. And just because of the nature of what I'm reading, I'm going to call out my man, Shaquille Majori. May not be pronouncing that right, but this writer at CBS Sports, and I'm reading here, and he says, Mr. Roll has shown no real athleticism or affinity for wrestling. And I think that's just ridiculous for him to say. And I challenge Mr. Shaquille Majori to go on TV and choke slam a guy through a table that looks better than Jelly Roll did, and he get in the ring and do a damn good looking black hole slam, and tell me that's not affinity for wrestling or any athleticism. I just read that and got a little hot about that.
Listen, Shaq.
I agree.
Listen, Shaq. I'm going to pull an off the cuff moment too. Can I join the group of people who are making off the cuff statements right here?
Absolutely.
I'm going to go out on a limb, okay, and say that Shaq here. In fact, I'm gonna call you Mr. Shaquille because I don't want to get it confused with Shaq, because Shaq's cool. But I'm going to go out on a limb and say Mr. Shaquille here doesn't actually watch professional wrestling. And I'm saying this because the outlet that you are a part of is not particularly an outlet that is oftentimes covering a lot of pro wrestling all the time. And you tend to pop up oftentimes around big events like Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, and SummerSlam, anywhere that celebrities are going to pop up, right? 2, to call him Mr. Roll, either you're trying to be a dick.
Oh, he is.
Or, right, you can't understand from the pro wrestling perspective that names matter. Jelly Roll is his performing name. That's what he performs under as a country music star, right? In this match, on the match card, he is going by Jelly Roll. That is the name that he's going by in this performance. To call him Mr. Roll, this is just me being a wrestling fan, it disrespects what the match is. It's just blatant disrespect, obviously, to the man, but it's also disrespect to what the match is, right? I have seen many matches that I did not like, many matches with people in it that I did not care for, right? But because I am a fan of professional wrestling, I'm just not going to disrespect the thing that I love, even if I feel like you yourself are disrespecting it. So for you to call it like Mr. Roll, right? I take offense at the fact that you're disrespecting something that I like, which is professional wrestling. I respect it, right? So I respect the match card itself, even if I may not be a fan of who's in it. And mind you, that has nothing to do with this match because I think Jelly Roll is going to be great in this. I think Jelly Roll is going to do a great job in it. But even if I thought that he wasn't, even if I thought that he was going to be a LeVar Ball level shill, at no point did I ever say Mr. Ball. At no point did I, you know what I'm saying? At no point did I ever disrespect what the match was supposed to be. I just thought that he was terrible in it. But I think that this is a bad faith argument being made by a bad faith actor who is not actually a fan of professional wrestling and is just doing this because he's a hater. And I would invite Shaquille, whatever his last name is. What's his last name?
I believe
Majuri or something like that. Yeah. Shaquille Majuri. I would invite you to come on the Lariat Lounge at any point and debate me on the topic. It convinced me that otherwise. And I am not someone who is above being wrong. If you're a wrestling fan and you just want to be a dick in that moment, come on the Lariat Lounge and say, yeah, I'm a wrestling fan. I just want to be a dick to people. And I will rescind every word that I said. But I firmly believe that you're not a wrestling fan and that you're also a dick. But hey, listen, feel free to prove me wrong. The Lariat Lounge is open to people who agree and disagree with what I have to say. But I have a sneaking suspicion that you will not lift a finger or raise your voice to contest anything that I've said. But prove a brother wrong.
Nah, that's a promo. That's how you sell a match, kids.
Brother, listen, I have been waiting for a long time to cut promos on people. And listen, all you have to do is disrespect pro wrestling because I love it. And if you want to disrespect pro wrestling, that is fine. I will be more than happy to unleash a well-cut promo on your candy ass anytime you want it. So next up, now that we've gotten over that, AJ Styles versus Dominic Mysterio for the Intercontinental Championship.
Yes, we're finally getting this after what? I guess a couple months postponed. It was supposed to be I guess King of the Ring was probably like a month ago.
Yeah.
Because it seems like that's been the time. So about a month. We've had some great stuff. I mean, just AJ being able to do the comedy. We've praised it every week.
Yeah.
And Dom and his doctor's notes and all that. It's been good. I think it should be good in the ring.
Agreed.
I don't think Dom loses the title here. Do you?
No. And I'm gonna go kayfabe in my argument here. Okay, because listen, that last little segment with Whack Heel O'Neal or whatever his name is, he's got me in my bag now. So I'm going to go kayfabe with this argument. All right. I want Dominic to win here because frankly, I think it's been a travesty. Okay. It has been egregious how AJ Styles has been stalking my man Dominic for weeks. Okay. The man had a doctor's note, Skeener. He had a doctor's note. The man was hurt. Okay. He can't compete. And what does AJ do? He stalks him all the time. All the time, he's stalking his man. And he's taking good jobs from hardworking people. You don't think there was a janitor that couldn't get on that night because AJ's doing it? You don't think that the valet wanted a job?
There's probably a union that's upset somewhere.
I'm sure there's somebody who wanted to get a job.
Need to head down to Georgia and serve someone with a complaint.
I'm serious. You don't think that there was a driver that was looking forward to get his break on WWE with his 10 seconds of fame. And they're like, hey, guys, we don't need you. AJ's going to do it tonight. As if he doesn't already have a spot on the card and a fat paycheck. You know what, AJ? You should be ashamed of yourself. And I hope Dominic puts the brakes on you and and retains his title because not only have you been a stalker with a capital S, but you're taking good paying jobs from hardworking people. So Judgment Day up, Dominic wins, down with AJ. Skeener, your thoughts?
Another great promo. But yeah, I'm with you, Dom. I don't think Dom's losing it here. I think we get a lot of Judgment Day involvement. Get them on the card, keep them there. Just keeps going well for them. So Judgment Day rolls on.
Now listen.
And how about Dom getting was that a switch too?
I think he got a switch too.
Wow.
Yeah.
Those are not I still don't think those are easy to get your hands on. So
no,
Roxanne
and they're not cheap.
Must have been searching.
And listen, if Roxanne got him that switch too with a game as well, that's $80 extra. Like, there's not cheap. Those games are not cheap. Now, we entertained this idea, and I think we both are in agreement that Dom wins this, right? And I can see how storyline-wise, if you have Roxanne involvement and helping Dominic retain the Intercontinental Championship, right? Maybe you get a scene where Dominic is getting his butt whooped by AJ, right? And Judgment Day interference, whoever comes out, but Roxanne has to be there, right? And Roxanne is the one who is instrumental in him retaining that championship, right? And then maybe you get a scene where Dom is like super excited and he like scoops up Roxanne, you know? And then he catches himself. Because I don't think you have Dom going fully, right? But like he scoops her up and she's like looking deep into his eyes and he is too. And then he's like, oh, whoa, wait, right? And you're just sowing more seeds of dissent, right? But what if Dom is, losing to AJ and Judgment Day is supposed to come out and Finn holds him back? Finn's whole thing has been trying to destroy the Judgment Day, right? So what if he holds him back and Dom loses to AJ? And you know what? Scratch that. The better idea is what we were talking about before. Interference happens.
Yeah, I was going to say that ain't happening.
Interference happens. He keeps that gold. He keeps the gold, and you just continue to sow these seeds of we don't need Liv, and then Liv comes back. The women's championship are on the line this weekend as well.
Yes, the women's tag team titles.
Yeah, I'm assuming that they keep those. Particularly if we're going to be doing this whole thing with the Judgment Day imploding, right? Which actually is the next match.
So now you switched back because last week you were all on board with me that Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair are going to win this match.
Yeah. So as I was saying that just then, I thought to myself as I was looking at the card, right? Because I was in the mindset of the Judgment Day stuff, right? And we're talking about it, and I'm scrolling down, and it's literally the next match on the card. And then I was looking at, I said, because we got Roxanne and Raquel. And then I saw, they're wrestling Charlotte and Alexa. And then I was like, wait, I don't know. Because the momentum right now is with Charlotte and Alexa. And I don't see how you have them lose right now. But
that's where I'm at. Just as we've referenced a couple times, like it's just, they're so hot right now and people are buying into it. and getting behind it. And I think the goal has always seemingly been to make the Charlotte Flair character more sympathetic. And this is maybe, I mean, probably since she debuted, like the best reactions she's been getting.
Certainly since she's come back.
I don't think you kill that right now.
Yeah, I don't think so either. And honestly, this could all work out. You know, going back to Finn Balor and his scheme to destroy the Judgment Day, right? Maybe the scheme is not to destroy the Judgment Day, but to cause dissension within the Judgment Day. So you could have a world where Judgment Day interference led by Roxanne, right, has Dominic win the retain the Intercontinental Championship, right? Maybe you get a little moment between him and Roxanne that sweetens the deal between the two of them in a way that is maybe uncomfortable for Liv, right? And then you have Roxanne and Raquel lose the titles to Charlotte and Alexa, right? Maybe this draws a wedge between Raquel and Roxanne, right? But you got Dom on Roxanne's side a little bit more now, sowing some dissension between Raquel and Dom. Then when Liv comes back, Liv may be on the side of Raquel and she's losing Dom.
That's exactly what I see happening, because that's what they kind of keep playing into, because they even did it during the I was trying to rack my brain, I can't remember, but it was during the Switch segment, and they were talking about, I don't know if it was a specific game or just
I
games
remember
in general, but they were like, yeah, Dom, yeah, you like to play games and Raquel's like, you know who else like to play games? Liv. Yeah. Like, so I think that's the way they've been sowing those seeds in that direction. So I think that's the way we'll keep going.
Yeah, I agree. And look, Charlotte's 180 with the fans has been very interesting to watch. And I think it just goes to show something that you and I have said ever since we did our special episode on Charlotte Flair.
Oh, yeah, I was going to go. It goes to show that we were right.
Yeah, it just shows that we were right. That you just have to give fans a reason. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You just have to give them a reason. And once you give them a reason to like someone, they will. And WWE and I feel more confident about it now than ever before. WWE, oh, and by the way, I think we're also confirmed in this via WWE Unreal, which, mind you, guys, this is not a promo for WWE Unreal. I mean it. Like, they're not paying us. I wish they would, but they're not. But I'm saying this because I really enjoyed it, and I think you will too. Please watch WWE Unreal. But via that show, there's an episode that talks all about the women, and they touch on a little bit of this. And Charlotte herself speaks to a little bit of this. The idea that, leaning very heavily on her athletic ability. And please watch it. It's illuminating. It's great. But yes, I think that WWE was doing the woman a bit of a disservice, and I don't think it was on purpose, but they leaned very heavily on her being so athletically gifted that they did not invest the time to really build something else around her. And if you just take the time and do it, you know what I mean? Like, the fans are forgiving. I mean, geez Louise, they put together a video package for Hulk Hogan and had the entire stadium 2 nights cheering for Hogan.
Great video packages, by the way.
Absolutely.
I mean, regardless of anything else we discussed, incredible video packages.
Yeah, I mean, listen, that's one thing we've always known about WWE. It's like, look, if there's one thing that they're going to do well, it's a video package. Like, they're going to knock those out of the park almost every time. And so, absolutely with a person like Hogan, they were going to do it. But, it was just the general sentiment around his passing when he passed. And then you watch Friday Night SmackDown and Monday Night Raw, and good Lord, you would think the discourse around it was completely different. And by the crowd reaction, you would have never thought that his last showing on Monday Night Raw, he got booed out of the building, Like,
yeah, well, I mean, obviously, for better or worse, sometimes when someone passes on, things get forgiven a little more than, but yeah, I mean, again, like you said, a great video package does not hurt.
No, I mean, listen, that's if they choose to forgive, right? We didn't get no video package like that for Chris Benoit.
Well, I think we did just before everything was
unveiled, before everything came out.
We did get an entire tribute episode, and I'm sure there was a video package.
Yes, I guess that is a bit different. And then the news came out.
Got a little more. Yeah,
that's true. Okay,
yeah,
I retract my statement.
I will never forget that. And that's an aside. I remember seeing. I had traveled with my mom for a golf tournament, and my mom wasn't going to be the one to watch wrestling with me at that time. She has since gone to shows to me and everything, and is a proud listener of our show. So, hi, Mom.
Hey, Mama Skeens.
For always listening to us. But I remember where we were. That's when 2007, I believe. June 23rd. So I was at Ogilvy Park in Wheeling, West Virginia, and we were in the hotel room, like getting ready to wind down and go to sleep because golf tournament was early the next morning. And one of us was flipping through the channels, and there was just enough time on that channel that I saw the empty arena and the photo you always get of the black background and the little headshot in a circle that said Chris Benoit, whatever year to 2007. And I was just like, wow.
Yeah.
But then by the time I got back to home the next day after the golf tournament, then everything is on the internet. And that episode of ECW on Sci-Fi opens up with the, Vince doing the little speech about all that. So that's just an aside, nothing really to do with anything SummerSlam, but just a memory that's kind of burned in my brain from the Benoit situation.
Yeah, that was definitely crazy. That news broke that, he and his family had died. And then shortly after that, the news broke. They're like, oh, no.
Yeah.
They didn't just die. They didn't just die. That's a gross oversimplification.
All right. So we're talking about how WWE is really good at video packages.
Yeah.
And they're the best, right?
Yeah.
We've had some great ones over the years.
Sure.
You posed a question to me last week, and I had to think about it. I'm sure you'll have to think about this one while I have my answer. Favorite video package can be pre-match, can be for a superstar, an event, whatever.
Yeah.
You can come back. I'll give you a week. Come back next week with your favorite WWE video package of all time.
Okay. Now, listen. If I know, do I have to wait?
You do not.
Okay. Because I'm just going to be honest with myself. I'm being honest with myself because if I wasn't being honest with myself, I would say, let me think, because there are so many good ones. And that's not a lie. There are so many good ones. But if I'm being honest with myself, the one that sticks out to me the most, that it just resonates with me as a wrestling fan for so many years, and it may be cliche, I don't care. Stone Cold and The Rock to My Way by Limp Bizkit. I think it was WrestleMania, what was that, 18?
That's 17.
17?
That's 17. Yep.
Oh, bro. Listen, when I think of incredible video packages, that is the thing that always pops in my head, the very first thing every single time. And I think that it will be very hard to be dethroned because that song fit that feud so well. And it just encapsulated everything that they were the two biggest stars in the company, and they could not coexist because it was going to be either my way or the highway. And you're either going to get on board and get in line or get knocked off. So, that's to me is the absolute best one.
Not unexpected. Definitely cannot argue with that. Obviously a classic. That is probably in my top 3.
Okay.
But why it's third is, and man, this is gonna get pretty nerdy.
Okay.
Into this stuff now. There's a part where in that video, if you go watch it back, and a lot of people probably don't remember it off the rip, as some would say.
Yeah.
Where My Way cuts out and they go into Deborah's weird involvement in that feud.
Okay.
And it goes to stock music, and there's about I don't know, maybe it's 10 seconds or something.
Yeah.
and then it cuts back into my way and it's great again. But just that little bit is what, and look, we're splitting hairs.
Yeah, you are.
This is obviously that's still up there, but that for me knocks it down.
Okay.
The two I have ahead of that,
all right,
who I think hit it the first time. Number 2 is going to be Survivor Series 2001, Team Alliance versus Team WWF. And that has a Puddle of Mud song. What is the name of that song? Why is it escaping me right now? It's not Blurry, I don't know. Regardless, that's a great one.
Okay.
Because that's the best of the best in terms, and you got them all getting their licks in. That's great. You got Vince and Heyman in there too, and Shane and Stephanie just had all the pieces there. My number 1, is WrestleMania 26, Undertaker and Shawn Michaels, the Streak versus Career match, set to that cover of Running Up That Hill, and it's just perfect. And it's emotional to me.
Yeah,
and like, man, that one for me, that was perfect from start to finish. That story helped it be that too, because just two of the old guard, just someone's going to go out on their shield, and it just, man, that's perfect.
I don't disagree. And you know what? It's like we're talking about this, and I'm going to add one more in here that and is very, very, very recent, but it moved me almost to tears because I love the professional wrestler that's involved. The video package that CM Punk got for his night 1 main event at WrestleMania 41. Yes, absolutely yes. That landed for me so hard. And when they started playing this Fire Burns, that's the Punk I remember. And listen, that's not to say that I don't remember, obviously, the Cult of Personality. I mean, that's quintessential Punk. Right. But I fell in love with Punk with this Fire Burns. Right. And all the like straight edge society stuff and like long, dark haired, big beard Punk. Like, and just to know that this guy's story almost like ended with him never accomplishing this dream. And just the idea that you can accomplish your dream. You can dream big. And the fact that I just love Punk, and to see him finally get his moment, and he's out there in this classic yellow with Heyman, but that package that they played before that just primed the audience. Yeah, dude, absolutely. That's one of my favorites. Absolutely.
That one's good. Honestly, they did a package for the whole match, the whole triple threat with a Machine Head song. I forget what it was, but that was awesome too.
Yeah, it was.
But the Punk one was good. You talk about now, this one brought into my head. This isn't a match one.
Okay.
But it's kind of the same thing. After WrestleMania 40, the night after, the Raw after, the video package they did for Cody, finishing the story.
Oh, yeah.
You said you were almost moved to tears. There's a picture deep in my phone camera that I took. I was crying like a baby during that Cody video package. It just hit me the right way.
Yeah.
Cody was crying, I was crying. Just was perfect, I thought.
Listen,
so I'm glad you had an answer off the cuff. You're better than me at it. I would have needed to think.
I mean, it's just that one. The Rock and Stone Cold. I mean, it's just that is the one that everyone thinks about. And I knew saying it might sound cheesy to some because it's like, of course you'd say that. But dude, there's a reason why, of course, people would say that. It's that good. You know what I mean? Sometimes the thing that is most obviously the thing is the thing for a reason. And
right. It's obvious. It's the obvious pick for a reason.
Yes, it's an obvious pick for a reason because it's that damn good. It's a measuring stick for promos. I'm not for promos, but for video packages that WWE has done. And it just set the bar. And it's good for a reason. And then on the Punk one, man, it's like, we're going to have a special episode one day about entrances and entrance themes and
for sure,
the whole deal.
And I received some our buddy Gage, who was listening to the show.
What's up,
he
Gage?
texted me immediately as he heard that and said, "Yes, please."
Okay,
special episode.
Okay, we will do it. We will do it. We will do that. That is on the docket for things for us to do. So stay connected to the Lariat Lounge for that bonus episode because we will get it out to you guys. Yeah. So let's see. What's next on this card? Becky Lynch versus Lyra Valkyria for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. I'm going to go ahead and say here that this match I think is going to be good. I don't particularly know why it's happening. I guess you want to wrap this up with their trilogy. I don't know why Bailey is excluded from this, but they're going to tee up something with Bailey because they're definitely harping on this fact that Bailey just keeps losing everything.
And we had her in this past Monday, we had her looking very dejected.
Yes.
And she did that backstage promo where she was talking about, I got left off of WrestleMania, wasn't on WrestleMania, now I'm not on SummerSlam. And they had a commentary play into the most lost she's looked. So we're definitely going somewhere with Bailey.
I would love for Bailey to interrupt that match and give us a CM Punk pipe bomb.
Hey, that would be something for sure.
Because
we've talked about it. Bailey needs some sort of that juice we were talking about.
Yes,
because there isn't a lot of juice behind Bailey for whatever reason, and she could definitely use some.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to do this, but that would be the best way to be in if they actually do, because you just wouldn't see it coming. But I would love for them to be having this match and Bailey just come out there maybe and just grab a chair and just tear them both up, right? And then she just grabs the microphone and cut to CM Punk-esque pipe bomb promo about how she's always gets overlooked and the fans love her and people love her, but it doesn't seem like the company does because the company won't ever put me in these marquee situations. And I come back and I will carry the company. You trust me with a stable, right? But you won't even let me be the front person of my own stable. And then you leave me off WrestleMania. You leave me off SummerSlam. What else am I supposed to do to prove to you that I'm as good as everyone says I am? And, and you get this real moment where the fans can really connect with Bailey in a different way. I don't know. Try something because we all love Bailey. You know what I mean? And Bailey is good. And there's no reason why Bailey should not be looked at the same level as someone like Becky Lynch or Charlotte Flair. Because I think she's got athleticism, though she's not as athletic as Charlotte. And I think she's got charisma. She just doesn't have it at the level of Becky, right? But I think that there are areas where Becky lacks that Bailey outshines her. And I think Bailey's, generally speaking, I think she's a better wrestler in the ring. I think she's a better wrestler in the ring than Becky. I just don't think she can hold a candle to Becky on the microphone. And I think that she's a better...
She just hasn't found that character that comes off the screen and seizes the control. Like when Becky walks out, your attention is on Becky.
Sure.
1,000%. And you said, we all love Bailey. I want to get invested in Bailey. I'm just not right now. And I'd be lying if I said I was. I want to. I have been before.
Yeah.
But back to what you said, give me that reason to care, and I will. But haven't really had one yet. But I think the little seeds and inklings that we're planting Monday is definitely, hopefully, going somewhere.
I agree. I hope so too.
So what do you think happens in this match? We've got Becky and Lyra, no DQ, and I believe if Lyra doesn't win, she can't challenge for the title as long as Becky's champion, right?
Correct.
Okay. So how's it shaking out?
It's tough, but I think for me, I think Lyra Valkyria loses to Becky Lynch. I think she loses to Becky Lynch. I think you keep the Intercontinental title on Becky because I think Becky having a title, Becky has more direction that way because her being a very delusional heel works a lot and a delusional champion even better. And it just opens the door for more people to be able to step up and challenge her. And I think that this is one of those scenarios that I don't generally agree with, but I think in the right scenarios, I think this situation is correct. And that is the women's Intercontinental title grows in its importance while it's around the waist of Becky Lynch. And I think that Lyra Valkyria was a great Intercontinental Champion. But I think that Becky having that title does give that title a level of gravitas that it needs in order to have credibility. And I think it will be credible when she drops it to whoever she drops it to. I don't think it should be back to Lyra. I think that we're done with the Lyra Becky hot potato of that title. And so I think this is a good way to book in Lyra's run around that Intercontinental Championship and allows her to move on to do something different, because we do need to start entering some new faces in the world title scene and in the women's the WWE Women's Championship scene. And Lyra has proven that she can do it. Now, sometimes Lyra gets on the microphone and it kind of waffles. The whole Becky stomping shoes thing kind of got crickets from the crowd. And I remember thinking...
And I will say, I actually kind of liked that, but it did not hit with other people the way it did with me. I can recognize that.
Listen, I think Lyra is finding herself. I think that aspect of it was not lost on me. I think the Becky stomping shoes was Lyra finding Lyra. And I think that just because you find yourself and you're getting in your groove doesn't mean it connects with everyone. And for me, that just did not land. I got it, but it just didn't land. And I think that the more she finds herself and the more she's in front of people, the more she's going to be able to find that niche within herself that is always in that groove that people connect with. I just think that portion of her, of her promo just did not land. And it didn't help that was the top of her promo too, right? That was the first thing you started with. And I also don't think that it helps that I think this is the most appropriate time to end this feud between Becky and Lyra. Because I think any further with this, and I think you run the risk of it becoming stale. And so end it here at SummerSlam and let Lyra ride off into doing something else. Let Becky continue to be the Intercontinental Champion and have the next person that challenge her, which could very well be like a Stephanie Vaquer, because we still have Crown Jewel Perth coming up, and what's happening in France? Is there like a PLE coming up in France?
Sorry, I was on mute there. We can leave that in or cut that out. Up to you, Everson. Behind the door. Yes, we have Clash in Paris at the end of August.
Okay.
A month from today, when we are recording this, actually comes, and that's where Stephanie gets her title shot.
Okay, so now she gets a title shot, or is it an opportunity for a title shot?
No, she's got a title shot.
Okay. So now she's gonna be challenged. Did we know what title she's challenging for?
I believe it will be the Women's World Championship.
Okay.
That's what it has been presented.
Okay.
She won that Battle Royal at Evolution, so she will have a shot at the Women's World title, which is currently the one Naomi has. So
okay. So it'll probably be her versus Naomi. Okay.
Most likely, yes.
Battle of the Booties.
You said it, not me.
Listen, we all gonna see it.
Yeah. So I'm with you on Becky and Lyra, and maybe boringly for our listeners, for the exact same reasons.
Yeah.
I think this the interaction and the story between these characters has served to do what we wanted and thought it should do when it started, is that knock Lyra down, knock that character, kind of, beat her up a little, new edge to this character. And whether she spins off and goes into something with Bayley or with someone else, I think that's good. Becky's doing great with this title. Like you said, just her being the massive star she is and holding that title elevates it. And I think this is just kind of like the Raw, our other match, the Women's World Championship. It's almost like we're tying up, we're putting a bow on it so that we can split these characters apart and go their separate ways. So I'm pretty sure Becky's taking this one.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so the next match we got is Solo Sikoa versus Jacob Fatu in a steel cage for the United States Championship. I do not think that Solo's a champ. I think Solo holds on to it. I think Solo holds on to the United States Championship. And I say that honestly for the same reason that I say that Becky Lynch holds on to the Intercontinental Championship. I think Jacob Fatu and his orbit around the United States Championship needs to come to an end. I think he is a big star. I think he's very popular. And I think that it's time to interject him into a new scene with new people and, allow for him to be seen on a grander stage competing for something other than the U.S. title. I don't see Solo right now stepping back into a bigger picture. And honestly, Solo right now, no disrespect to Solo because I like Solo. I like what he's doing. But he is not the person right now with the jet fuel behind him. Right now, that's Jacob. And so to me, smart storytelling would be to have Solo beat Jacob. Solo loses nothing from taking a loss, and you can interject Jacob into a new picture, and Solo can retain the U.S. Championship, and you can elevate someone else into that space. And maybe somebody who we haven't seen can challenge Solo, challenge him, like maybe a Penta, right? Penta could use a little firing up, and putting a title on him wouldn't be a bad thing, and I think he'd be a great U.S. champion. So maybe you move Jacob away, put him into a different picture, and you bring Penta into a space where he can challenge for a solo title.
That would be interesting. You would have to, obviously that's moving Penta over shows.
Sure.
If we do that. Not quite sure if they're ready to do that yet, but I will say I'm with you. I'm picking Solo in this one. I don't think he wanted just to lose it already. This is one I could see if they want to trade it back and forth one or two times. I'd be okay with that. But I think kind of like what you said is Jacob Fatu and the reactions he gets, I think are almost jeopardized the longer he stays, like you said, in the orbit of that U.S. title. And I hate to say that because I have and will continue to heap praise on Solo for the work he does every week and how good he's been. But the U.S. title is what it is.
Yep.
And if you're on your way up, you can't hang around that spot. Now, once you're a made guy, you can come back down.
Sure.
And be around that title. But he hasn't reached the mountaintop yet.
No.
So I think the longer he stays halfway up the mountain, people wonder, perception becomes reality a little bit.
Yes.
So like you, I think he can lose this in a cage. We've got at least 3 MFTs that can get involved in this match. I still think we've got to see our new boy Tala Tonga against Jacob. We've still got to see that. So I think he probably gets heavily involved in this finish somehow. And then we can have those 2 big boys go at it and give us a show there. But for all the same reasons you said, and the fact that, I'm just enjoying what Solo has been doing. And I think this is not like a gift. It's not a participation trophy, but this title is a nice way to recognize really how great he's been ever since the original form of the bloodline drifted apart.
Sure.
And he took that leadership role. Because there was a time where we initially missed Roman Reigns and Solo stepped up that I thought he was carrying SmackDown every week and doing an admirable job of. And like I said, I've heaped praise on him bringing in the comedy and being funnier and showing that vulnerability. And I'll go ahead now and bring this back up. You asked me last week favorite current entrance theme, and I said, okay, you got Roman, you got Cody, you got Rhea, but I think those are easy answers. It's Solo if I'm not picking one of those.
Okay.
That theme is just so good.
I agree.
And
it's good.
I've always loved it. I can be singing that one throughout the day for sure.
I can see that.
And like you, I think he retains this one.
Yeah, I think we're in agreement on that one. We're not in agreement on Tala Tonga. It has not been a favorite gimmick of mine.
Really?
No, it hasn't. It genuinely is not. I think that the whole thing with the bloodline, I know it's a hot take. I think it's run its course, man. Like, I like the fact that they're doing something slightly different with its MFTs, right? And that they're not still doing the quote unquote bloodline. But come on, it's the bloodline renamed. It's Bloodline 3.0. And not that I'm saying that the rehashing of the idea is the problem. I just feel like the first bloodline was the freaking bloodline. You know what I mean? It was Roman. It was the Usos. You know, even with Sammy in there, right? And Solo, that was the bloodline. Now it's like the other dudes that are in the family. We're the bloodline too. And then when that ends, it's like the MFTs. And it's like, and Tala Tonga, listen, man, WWE always has a problem when they have certain types of talent. And I don't know if it's just leaning too heavy on tropes, but whenever they have someone who is real tall, real big, they lean into this idea of, look at this monster. Oh my gosh, look at the size of this carnival attraction. It's what they always do. They do it with Tala Tonga. They did it with Braun Strowman. They did it with The Big Show. They did it with Omos. They did it with Giant Gonzalez. They do it with all of them. The only people that ever really escaped that, in my opinion, The Undertaker and Kane. Those are the only ones that really escaped it. They got to get wrapped up in cool-ass stories with cool-ass characters, right? And they got to branch out outside of that. But all the rest of them just get stuck with being the big dude. And it's like, dude, as long as you're going to be the big heater, I think your career is short. I think your career is short, and I think the attention span around you is even shorter. And so, you know, spare me the idea that you're going to continue to bring in these quote unquote highly sought after people on the indies and then bring them up and they're JC Mateo and Tala Tonga and Tama Tonga and Tongaloa. Who cares? You're doing nothing with these people and you're not showing me anything outside of the fact that they're background players. You could have plugged anybody in these spots. I'm just not, it's not working for me. And the sad thing is, Solo could have easily been this to the original bloodline if he hadn't had all his history in NXT prior to, because he felt kind of like that at first. But we knew his history, we knew his lineage, we knew he was the younger brother of the Usos, and he had that history in NXT, right? But when he took over from Roman, when Roman left, there are a lot of people who were like, what is this like imitation of the tribal chief? But he has lineage. He has history in NXT, and so you could at least lean on that, right? You could lean on the fact he was a street champ, that he was an NXT champion, that he was all these things, right? And he was very instrumental in Roman keeping that belt as long as he had it. You know what I mean? But like Tama Tonga, Tongaloa, Tala Tonga, what? What have they done? Nothing. Like,
so obviously you can't see me. You'll be able to see me on Saturday and Sunday when we do our first our live streams and live episodes. But for a while, I have been just here with a big grin on my face, smiling, because you went exactly where I was going to go for a completely different reason.
Okay.
You were talking about Tala Tonga at first, and I was going to reference Roddy Piper and The Undertaker's debut when he's on commentary and says, "Look at the size of that ham hock." That's all I need. Look, I'm a simple man. I see big ass Tala Tonga, and I'm like, hey, look at the size of that dude. I want to see him go. So that's where I'm at on that. At least until we see it. That's exactly where I'm. Hey, he's big. Let's see what he can do.
Look, I hear you, and I think
it's just funny because I know you were thinking probably that exact same moment, just for a completely different reason.
Yeah, I'm thinking about all of those moments when the big guys come out and the announcers on the ring, look at the size of that guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
that's exactly what I was going to say.
It's like, yeah, it's great for the image. It's great for the image of seeing such a big person in the ring and everybody's looking at him. Whoa, he's so, but I mean, come on, dude. Like, it doesn't work, in my opinion. It doesn't work. If it worked, you'd have more big shows. You know what I mean? Like, you'd have more big shows. And I say big show because Big Show had a very long tenured career. Despite the fact that like halfway through his career, they couldn't figure out how to use the guy. You know what I mean? And he was able to do so much less after his knees gave out. So, you know, but he was still a big attraction and you could use him. But you'd have more big shows, but you don't. For every big show, you've got 5 Omoses. You know what I mean? And it's just like, what do you do, man? What do you do with this? And Omos was a freak of nature and you couldn't get him over. So
yeah, so here, this may derail us a little bit, but
Sure.
we've never been shy of
Never been shy.
I think the big guy that's impressive because he's big, it works less and less with pro wrestling as a TV product.
Sure.
Because even me, I've seen all these guys, you know, we see them every week. When I go to a show and you see how big these guys are live,
Sure.
it just hits a little different. So I think when everything was more centered around getting people to the live events and in the arenas, that guy is probably more impressed for just that one note he can play, which is, hey, look how big I am, than he is now when, sure, it still comes across on TV.
Yeah.
But it doesn't in the way of you being in that same room and building as him and really get that perspective of how much bigger than you and a normal human someone like that is.
Sure. I mean, listen, look, it's King Kong in a cage, right? Like the old King Kong movie, right? Where it's like when you have Kong in a cage and you've got the bright lights on him, he is a spectacle to see. People want to come and see the huge gorilla, right? But when you try to take King Kong that's in a cage and tell a story about how other people should have an actual shot at defeating him, right? It's hard to do unless you make him whack, unless you dumb him down, right? And weaken him in order to make people be able to be a credible threat. I'm sorry, I don't care how good, and this is not picking on LA Knight, it's just the first person that came to my head, right? It doesn't matter how good an LA Knight is. If King Kong was allowed to be King Kong, he would rip LA Knight apart, right? It's the argument people make a lot of times when they talk about Superman, right? Which, if you watch the latest Superman movie, they do a really good job of showing how you can have someone be a super powerful being like Superman and also give them credible, legitimate weaknesses, right? That make him viable in telling a story. Right? Because people used to always lean on the idea of like the Superman trope, right? Which is like Superman is boring in stories because he could just beat everyone. And the only way that you can make him good in a story is to dumb him down, right? Put him on a world where he's not as strong or put kryptonite into the picture so he's weak. And I think the problem you run into with these big guys is that to make other smaller guys seem credible, you have to dumb the big guy down some. And it's difficult to make the stories around big guys make a lot of sense. And so you leave them out of real good stories. You know what I'm saying? They're just the MacGuffin of a story. They're the big Andre the Giant to topple. And those don't make for the best stories, but they make for great events. They make for great spectacles. But you know, you're only going to have one time when Hogan slams Andre. You're not going to be able to do it again, Lex and Yoko. It doesn't work. You know what I mean? It doesn't work.
And I guess that's where I look at it different because I'm fine if I just see it once. I mean, obviously, I would love for Talatanga, Hikuleo, whatever we want to call him, to have this great long run in career and be a main eventer, and that's great for everyone. But if the only thing we get is he comes in for a while, I'm impressed by how big he is. He has a great match. Jacob does something crazy with him. I'm okay with that. Like, I'm okay. Sometimes not everyone is going to be even the Big Show. And if every big guy was lucky enough to be the Big Show, they count their lucky stars there. But
true.
I'm fine with it being. I still want to see him.
I hear you. I just wonder where you put someone like that, right? Like, even if you're a mid-carder, even if you're a jobber, right? You would be better off as a mid-card act who never really wins any singles titles than to be in the position that Omos found himself in at certain points. You put a title on him. I think he was like a U.S. champion at one point.
Tag titles with AJ, right?
Oh, yeah, something. I remember him having a belt at one point, right? But like,
yeah, I think him and AJ were the tag champions.
Yeah, I think so too, yeah. But like the problem is if you're not the top of the card, how do you even be a mid-carder to anyone that will be better than you?
You're right. And that's why the shelf life for guys that are that big typically isn't long, which is what you reference. Like, you've got Big Show, you've got Undertaker and Kane because they were able to do something else with that.
Right.
And it is. You're right. That is a problem. I guess my thing comes down to is I accept that, and I'm just like, well, let's just see what it is for as long as we got it.
And you know what? If they're fine with it, I will be fine with it too. I'm not someone who is particularly looking forward to it, but if they show up on my television and they're doing something that's entertaining, then hey, I shall be Caesar and I will be entertained. So, Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross. Karrion Kross needs to win here.
I think so too. I think he does need to win. Is he going to?
I think he is. I think he is. I think we need to turn the page with Sami Zayn. And it's crazy because I want Karrion Kross to win because I think Karrion deserves to win. And I think we need to build with whatever he's doing. But I think we need to turn the page with Sami Zayn. I think Sami Zayn being somehow influenced by Karrion Kross just adds some layers and some depth to this character that I think will serve him well. Do I think he needs it? Not necessarily. But I think it would serve him very, very well to not be the super beloved babyface right now and to be someone who has lost his way. And Jay still needs something to do. Like, this Roman tag team thing with him is one night only, and Roman is going to move on to whatever he's doing, and his twin brother Jimmy is currently occupied. So, unless you want Jay, I don't want this to happen, but unless you want Jay to slip back into the tag team scene, he needs something else to do. So I think you have Karrion Kross beat Sami, and he makes Sami admit that Karrion was right. That Karrion, or Karrion loses. It could be the story that we were talking about before. What Karrion really wants is for Sami to submit this idea that he's a good guy. That being a good guy and being that guy who always sticks up for what's right is going to get him to the dance, right? And that what you really need to do is tap into that darkness in you. And maybe Sami does win by going way too far on Karrion Kross. Either way, right? Karrion wins because he gets what he wants. You know what I'm saying? And you get Karrion's victory being one that is served through Sami's downfall. Whether Karrion wins and Sami admits that Karrion was right and decides to change his ways in order to get back into winning shape, or Sami does finally get that victory by submitting to the dark side. But we need a change in Sami, and it has to come by Karrion's influence. I want Karrion Kross to win, but honestly, I don't care who wins as long as Sami falls. Does that make sense?
Yep, because it's exactly where I was going to go. Karrion Kross doesn't have to win this match, but he does have to get the symbolic or theoretic victory in him being right. And that there's this darkness, or whatever we want to call it. Impulsiveness, darkness, that Sami Zayn, when pushed, will do and give in to these evil, baser desires and instincts when push comes to shove.
Yeah.
Which Karrion Kross referenced. So far, everyone he has interacted with, despite the fact that he has not won a bunch of matches, he has been right about all these characters that he has touched in some way. So I don't want that to stop now. Don't think it needs to, and I think that's the place to go with this story. And if it doesn't, I will be really worried about where Karrion Kross goes.
Agreed.
Because it would show that this was just a momentary investment.
Yeah.
But like we said, He doesn't have to win. He just has to win.
Yes, I agreed. Like, and this is the biggest stage that we've had carrying on, right?
Yeah.
If you don't pay it off now, all it really shows is that WWE does not have the faith in Karrion Kross that we have in Karrion Kross. And I just cannot imagine. And obviously what we're talking about is, like you said, Karrion doesn't need to win. And they need to pull the trigger on the Karrion Kross Sami Zayn story, not the Karrion Kross pinfall, but a Karrion Kross victory is what they need to go with right now. And if they don't do that, I don't know what you do at Karrion Kross. I legitimately don't know. And not because I couldn't come up with a great story, but because I don't know what you could do that the WWE writing team and creative would be behind. Because if they're not behind this, you're not getting behind anything.
Yeah, for sure. And I have to have a little faith that we will get that payoff. You got to think that steel pipe's going to be involved. Maybe Sami Zayn picks it up and finally he uses it on Karrion Kross, and that pays off what Kross has wanted to expose all along. But, it's I say all this with this tinge of worry that Sami Zayn's going to win. There's going to be no payoff. And like you said, where do you go with Karrion Kross? So I'm going to convince myself that doesn't happen.
I'm right there with you, brother.
So I'm with you here.
I'm right there with you, brother. I'm going to convince myself that that's not going to happen and that good things are going to come from that. And finally, what I am not going to convince myself of is that this match is going to be anything but just a good match. I'm sorry, people. This is the point in the show where I'm a Debbie Downer. The last match on this card.
Before I do.
The last match on this card. The Wyatt Six, which is Joe Gacy and Dexter Lumis, versus the Street Profits of Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins versus Fraxium, which is Nathan Frazier and Axiom, versus DIY, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, versus the Motor City Machine Guns, Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley, in a 6-pack TLC match for the WWE Tag Team Championships. God, I could care less. I mean,
me too.
If they told me that this match was cut for time, I'd be like, I can get another slice of pizza.
Yeah, we won't leave the camera this weekend.
I can't promise
match.
I won't take a bathroom break. I ain't gonna hold you.
If we do, it'll be during this match.
Listen, I feel like if you were in the stadium for this is the match that you go to get concessions and to the bathroom. I mean. Listen, we can't all be like we were at Mania 40 in a suite where we had all the things right there for us. So you may have to make a hike, to get an overpriced bag of popcorn. Because believe me, you're going to pay $20 for that popcorn. And you may have to take a hike to go to the bathroom. And believe me, it's not a place you're going to want to stand in line to use the restroom. And God forbid you got to do a number 2. I'm praying for you. But if you're going to do it, this is probably the match that you're going to be like, I can miss this one.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. It'll be good. It'll be exciting. I'm sure if you're there, it'll be fun to watch. I'm sure a lot of spots will happen and we'll get a "this is awesome" chant. But we've been asking for them to give us a reason to care. They haven't yet. I think they've been trying in injecting, look, not the best way to do it, just throw another team in. I am a little excited about this Andrade and Phoenix pairing, and they gave him a little, I forget now if this was this past week or 2 weeks ago, little one of those vignettes where they're in their nice suits in front of their nice car.
Yeah.
Talking about things. That was good. That showed some development. But yeah, I mean, this thing is still just, I want to say life support, but it shows no signs of dying. So,
yeah,
it's just like I hate saying it this way because I know these performers and these guys and girls are trying hard, but just like a cockroach that won't die that we just have to see every week.
Who are the tag team champs? It's Wyatt Six, right? Okay.
Yeah, the Wyatt.
Why isn't Andrade and Rey Fenix in this match?
They are.
Are they? I don't see them.
Mm-hmm. They are.
Maybe I just skipped over them.
I promise you they're in there.
Okay.
Wyatt's, Andrade and Rey Fenix, DIY, Fraxium, Machine Guns, Profits. That's sick.
Okay, maybe I just overlooked them on this list. I see the Wyatt Six.
No, they're there.
I see the Street Profits. I see Fraxium. I see Ciampa and Gargano. I see the Motor City Machine Guns. Oh, they're just not on this list. Okay, because that's only 5.
If it says it's a 6-pack, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, they're there because that's the only thing that makes this new. And like I said, there's going to be a bunch of guys that are really good at doing professional wrestling around ladders with a lot of gimmicks to play with. It's going to be great to watch. Doesn't mean I have a reason to care about who wins or what happens after it.
Yeah. Listen, I will say this: just if I am going to try and be generous, this match being a TLC match with all of these components involved, I think it's going to be a really, really fun match that has stakes that no one really cares about.
Yeah, this is going to, in 5 years, this is going to pop up on some list on some website when you're like, the 10 best tag team ladder matches or whatever.
Oh, for sure.
And someone's going to put this on there and you're going to be like, oh, yeah, that did happen.
Oh, yeah, this is going to be...
You ain't going to remember it happened.
This is going to have a number of decent spots that are going to be shown in SummerSlam promo videos forever. Because they're going to be breathtaking and cool, and no one will ever talk about the matches that those spots are from.
Correct. You won't worry. Maybe we're wrong. Maybe we're wrong and we get something truly legendary. If you believe that, I don't know why you do, but maybe you're right.
True. So that's the end of the match card. What match, Skeener, to wrap this up, because I know you have some super high-profile golf lessons with some millionaires later on that you're going to.
That's something like that.
So, he can't hang out with us very long, guys. He's got millionaires to go coach to. But
I wish.
We all
if there are any millionaires out there listening that need some golf coaching, I'll do it for half of me.
Just give up half of your wealth to Skeener for golf lessons.
And we can negotiate down from there. I mean,
that's a starting point.
Yeah.
Got it.
It's like a car dealership. That's recommended.
That's why people do not shop at car dealerships anymore. The rip-offs. So, of the matches that you've got on the card, what match are you looking forward to the most?
It's got to be one of the 2 world title matches.
Okay.
I mean, and probably it's, even if I know it probably won't be the best bell to bell, it's hard not for me to say John Cena and Cody. Because we want to see what happens with 2 names that big, with the biggest prize in the business on the line. And, we're all kind of waiting for The Rock, maybe for Travis Scott. Who knows? But yeah, I got to lean that.
Okay.
And that's hard for me to say in a card with my tribal chief on it. It's been a while since I've said not the Roman Reigns match on a card. But I think this is the time I will say that.
Okay.
What's the answer for you?
It's a toss-up, man. It's a toss-up. I'll be honest with you. I'm debating between the 2 world title matches, and also, honestly, that triple threat for the women's world championship is looming for me. But I think if I had to pick, just based on what it is that I'm genuinely excited to see play out, it has to be Cody Cena. Dang, I was gonna say Gunther and Punk. But I think that is hinging clearly off of what I'm hoping is going to happen. And the Cena and Cody story has elements of what I'm hoping will happen. But there's absolutely a story that is playing out with Cena that is going to happen. And I'm very interested to see where that story goes. And because I know we're going to get some beats moving forward with that story, it has to by default be that.
Yeah, I'm with you. If I was going strictly on what I think will be the best match bell to bell, then I'm with you on the women's triple threat.
Yeah.
But for the reasons we talked about, that in terms of story and character development, I don't think this is a hugely seminal moment when you look back at the arc of any of these characters that I go away from. I think both the other world title matches, obviously all the reasons we talked about Cena and Cody. And then is this the time that, it's a big deal if Punk wins his first world title back in WWE.
Yes.
That's a big moment that we darn well may get. So it's hard for me to not include that there.
You know what I think we should start doing? I think we should start doing, like, for PLEs like these, I think we should start doing like a best match, which encompasses what we were just talking about, which is going to be like the match that has the most stakes and is going to move the story forward, which we are both in agreement with, is like Cody versus Cena. And then we should do like a best bell to bell. Like, what is going to be like probably the best in-ring competition on the card? Because I agree with you. I think your breakdown was spot on. Yeah, it's hard to not
the moves and the moments.
Yes, because it's hard to not look at the best bell to bell and think that women's triple threat is not going to deliver. Like, that match is going to deliver, but I agree that the best overall match is got to be the Cena Cody match. It just has too much stakes for it not to have a story beat that's going to really move something forward in a way that we're going to be talking about for the next few months.
Yeah, and frankly, we're getting it to the point where, like, you would think we've got limited dates. Not that nothing's happened, but we got to start heating up towards whatever in this John Cena arc is going to happen.
Right.
We got to start getting
right. And so that makes you think that, SummerSlam. This is the biggest card that is left on his farewell tour. And so
allegedly,
allegedly, right? If he's sticking to the remaining dates he's got left, right? There's not going to be a bigger show in the dates he has left than SummerSlam. And so you think you'd get something significant that's going to happen. And so it's hard to bet against the main event of night 2. But you all let us know what you think about the SummerSlam 2025 first 2-night SummerSlam, first Netflix SummerSlam. You let us know what it is that you're thinking, because you can reach us in the normal places, and Skeener's about to let you know about all those spots. But please do not forget, we are going live. It is the very first Lariat Lounge live on Saturday for SummerSlam nights 1 and 2. Skeener and I are going to be up here. We're going to be Ninja Turtles up here chomping down on pizza. And you can come in here and you can join us. I'm going to actually make that a gimmick. Whenever we do a live, we're going to have pizza. And we're going to be chomping down on pizza.
You do not have to entice me any further than that.
Oh, so I've sold you on the gimmick?
Pizza every time. Yeah. Yeah, that was an easy sell.
All right. We're going to have pizza every time we get on.
That didn't need to be sold. I was already buying. I was coming with pizza, whether you said it or not. So I'm just glad you're aboard.
Bet.
We can pretend it's your idea.
Listen, it's the same way it was for this live. When I called you and told you about it, you already knew what I was thinking, and you were already on board.
I did.
And that's why I know for a fact that I picked the perfect co-host for this podcast, because we seem to be in lockstep with a lot of things, and it's not pre-discussed. I'm telling you guys, when we do this podcast, we do not talk about the stuff that we're talking about before we get on to do this podcast. The fact that we end up in these positions where we're generally in lockstep with one another just speaks to the types of wrestling fans and men that we are. So it's not a gimmick,
shoot, brother.
It is not a gimmick.
It is a shoot.
So join us on Saturday, guys. We're going to be starting. The show starts at 6. We'll be starting up at 5:30, be lingering around, getting everything going, and we'll be live at 6 for the entire show, hanging around, eating pizza. Come in, chat with us. I should have the active chat up, so you'll be able to interact with us, be the programming, and be there for all the really cool spots. And you never know, we may be all there witnessing something that's going to be awesome and once in a lifetime. So join us. And if you can't reach us there, Skeener, where else can they get in touch with us on the Lariat Lounge?
The podcast is coming at you every week, at least once a week. YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, wherever else you get your podcast. If you're already here listening, you know that. You can reach us at the Lariat Lounge at gmail.com if you want to send us thoughts, comments, concerns, things you don't like, things you do like, what your thoughts are on what's going on in WWE today. Always happy to hear from you. We're also on Instagram over at the Lariat Lounge Podcast. always throwing polls and questions up on the story. Happy to hear from you all, get you all involved there. But it's about that time to get out of the lounge.
Yeah, it's about that time to get out of the lounge, and we will be opening the lounge up special on Saturday. So make sure you come back and you join us.
Start getting your lawn chairs out there. You may want to camp out outside for a good spot.
Yeah, camp out for a good spot. Listen, I guarantee there will be seats. I just can't guarantee they'll be the best seats, but we'll have the lounge open. But come on, guys, seriously, come out and join us. I'm honestly getting hype thinking about Saturday now because I think it's just going to be fun.
I'm really excited to be doing this.
Yeah, it's going to be fun, man. It's the first of many. The first of many. So come out, guys. Hang out with us. We'll be there enjoying each other's company, and we hope you guys come out and enjoy the company with us. From your hosts, Everson, Godfrey, and Andrew Skeens, this has been another edition of the Lariat Lounge. Please watch yourself on the way out.